Tune in to Prophet Kwaku on Galaxy Radio, the only de-brainwashing station. Voodoo, voodoo.
Listen up, crowd of people. Straight talking and no flinching. Right now you're locked on to Nubian Forum, the people's talk show with the Prophet, Brother Kwaku. So if you don't know, well, get to know. Tell a friend for tell a friend, and tell that friend for tell another friend. Brother Kwaku. Listen up. A long time now the heathen them forget slow. Michael Garden said that
you're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show live with the Prophet Kwaku. Asha Senator says so.
Otep. Apologies, people. Tepe neke J.R. Senebe. You're in tune to Nubian Forum People's Talk Show live here on Galaxy Afiwe.com. Munduba Fo, the creating force of the universe, of omnipotent being that which is greater than ourselves. Golodomare, Nkulokulu, Kwame Blafashe, Mungo, Onyeme, Ja, Amen Ra, Ashe. Munduba Fo, to the ancestors who fought the enemies of Mama Africa for the last 6 millennia.
Fight against the like when Marcus Garvey told
to the ancestors who died in the many mangameses whose bones lay beneath the many seas, the many oceans, the many rivers, the many lakes, the many swamps, the many deserts, the many graves of this world. To the ancestors that when they were taken into captivity in the concentration camp, escaped and set up their own colonies, to those who could not escape, to those dying trying to escape, and to those that when they escape never forget their brothers. We say Madasi Pa for your sacrifice. Madubafon to the ancestors them that survived those concentration camps. Those ancestors who survived so that we could be here today. Madasi Pa for your sacrifices. Ashe. Well, people, we're not having it. The great Asha Senator. We now have it in our black people. Yeah, we live on the Facebook now, Kwaku Bonso. You see the ank. Click on that live on the, in the studio now with my guest. With my guest why I'm late today, yeah? Yeah, I'm a guess why I'm late today. Yeah, so just tell you that right now. I'm a guess why we're late today. So you're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show live here on Galaxy Afiwe.com. Now we have a special show going on tonight. We have a sister in the house here. Sister Nai. Empress Nai is in the studio and she's going to talk to us. Pick up yourself, Digo. Old time friend from Sunday school. Rise up yourself every time. Yes? Spread the word. The prophet is on the ear today. Yeah, so Empress Nai is in the studio with me and we're going to be talking about something that she's involved with, and we got some other brothers who's going to be calling in on the live link. Yeah, and they will be on the live link and we will be communicating with the organization. They'll be telling us what the organization is all about, what they're doing, this petition that they have going out there and everything like that. And we're going to big up yourself, Andrew, my cousin, big up yourself there every time. I think this is the brother calling in. Yeah, just hold on there, my brother. Just wait a minute until I just speak to the people them. I want to send a special dedication out to our brother in Kem Owe, who died on Sunday. I'm told that this month here. Move on to the ancestors, and we give a beautiful tribute to him Sunday morning, and we just want to rise him up again in a spirit world. You understand me? And may the ancestors embrace him on the spirit boat of Ra, and may sail into the new world peacefully. So we give thanks. Sister Knight, say something to the people. Let me see if you're live on the air there.
Hello, Galaxy listeners. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on, talk.
Yes. First off, I just want to say thank you, Prof. This is my go-to elder anytime I have a problem or situation. So thank you, Prophet, for giving us the platform. Really appreciate it. I just want to say greetings to everyone. Hi, Black family. I'm streaming live on Instagram, Empress_Nay_, so you can watch as well. I've got Reform Pursuit with me on the line, and we're going to be talking about the official Race Offenders Register. This is a petition that our lovely Queen, Emma Jane Leslie, we know her as MZ, she put this petition to the government for us to create a Race Offenders Register. So this is what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be a good show, so lock in everybody. Get your questions ready.
All right, then. For people who tune into Galaxy regular, we would know that our brother Icon did a show on, I think it was Wednesday, and was talking about this treaty, this peace treaty between the Americans and the Morocco in 1767, I think it was. I got the treaty here. I read through it, and we're going to be discussing that tonight. Definitely 100%. My brother Delano will be calling in because he's very passionate about this, and we'll be dealing with this so-called treaty that them say involve Africans. Digo, Donovan, my big brother, rise up yourself every time, read it. Yeah, big up yourself every time. And we'll be dealing with that. So, just a few things before we start. We're going to give you an hour. So we're here at 2:45, so we're going to take you around to 11:15. Let me see if your guest is on there. My brother, you there? Otep?
Right here, locked in.
You're locked in now. Hold on there. Just hold on a minute, yeah?
All
right. Yeah. So you're live on Galaxy, afiwe.com, the only deep brainwashing station in this nation, with the Prophet Meduti and Sister Empress Nai in here this evening, going to tell us about this petition they're dealing with. But before we do that, remember now, people, they're making the supermarkets now, is saying that you cannot enter the supermarket them until you wear a mask. What we have to inner around circumference, radius, hectagon, triangle, and parallelogram stand, that the masses have the power. Not these conglomerate, not these big corporations. If you notice, other people, them business can't open, but the supermarket, them can open. Lidl open, Sainsbury's open, Marks and Spencer, Morrison's, Aldi, Asda, Waitrose, you name it. They have been making money like dirt out of this thing here.
Yeah.
Remember me tell you now, I them I make the money, you know. Yes, pick up yourself, Sister Pat. Yeah? I them I make the money, you know. People, go to the black corner shops anywhere you find them. Don't go into them supermarket and give them your money. Because can you imagine? It's almost like you're begging them to spend money with them. You understand me I say?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know? You beg them to spend money with them. You know more I do, more I move your Instagram something over there, so.
No, this is my best angle.
You mean your best angle?
Leave it like this.
No, no best angle business in here. No best angle. Just fling it there. So me now look to you. So we're just looking at one camera, one verse. You want me to fix up there?
Yeah.
People just hold on the Instagram. This is live radio. Yeah, live radio with Empress. Nice. See it there. Right, live radio. I set her up. I set up a little thing because she wants to see. I don't want it drop. I don't want something. Your apparatus dropping. This is live radio. This is how we do it.
I can't touch
this is how we do it. Boom. Boom.
I can't answer my comments now. Oh well.
Or answer your comments.
Don't worry, just let it run.
Yeah, alright. Hold on. We'll just set this up. Sorry, people. There it is. See the Empress. Alright, now. That's better. You know, see that better?
If you say so.
No, but me have a ton when all them something. I can't bother with a ton with business. You know what I mean?
Go on.
Yeah, do a ton with business. Yeah. So anyway, make sure this is your mic. You're talking into that mic. Yeah. All right. Yes, people. So, no them bullying us. No, don't get me wrong, you know. Something out there. There is something out there. But I think that the figures that they're giving is not the full dilly. The figures that them giving. You know the figures they might give?
Well, they put it out there, didn't they?
Right? So, there is something out there. But, people, what I want to say to you, stop wearing masks in the street. You need to breathe oxygen in your lungs. Your lungs need oxygen. Means I survive all this thing, and I tell you, no. One of the sweetest things when we walk out of the road and breathe fresh air. Remember me tell you. You understand? So here what? Go to the corner shop them. They're slightly more expensive. Definitely. But they need your help. I mean, I thought the Indian man corner shop. We hope a black man have corner shop. If you're not the southeast and the southwest, Like if you have Bricks and Acre Lane and all them places, that man called Cliff him have shop up there. Bunny him have a shop up there. There's another brother have a shop round a Clapper. The black shops are about the place. Let's support them. You understand me? Yeah? Because these people them, all them care about is them pocket. You understand me? Them not shut down the supermarket under no circum. Even in the height of the lockdown, supermarkets was open. You understand? And I can tell you, when you start trace these supermarkets, you see that some of the MPs them have business and links and all them something there. Them are them brethren. The next thing I want to talk to you about before we move any further is that a lot of people's moving off WhatsApp. And I will be moving off WhatsApp come February the 8th. Because WhatsApp got too feisty. And I tell people what am I going to do with your private things and this and that and rate it and all them something. We must not allow ourselves to be beholden to any of these mediums. There are other mediums about the place. But what happens is because they know that we use them regular, enough of us on there, they feel that we have to stay with them. There are other independent people doing things. They might not be as, tuned in as them because they make so much money from us and the advertising that comes in, that they're able to improve their things. Big up yourself there, Delani. Yeah?
Hi, brother Delani.
You understand? But there's a thing called Signal. There's a thing called, what that one called? Suprika. I'm going to be on Suprika. SUPFRICA. It's a Sierra Leonean man from the continent that is developed that app. So anybody who... I hear that people from iPhone is having problems logging onto it, but I'm sure that will change in the future. But that's what I will be on. Them say Sigam and Telegraph. Another one them called Telegraph. Yeah? Me as a 25, them gone up 25 million people sign up with Telegraph already. You see? And this is what happens when people have the monopoly on things. They think they can dictate. Remember, the masses has the power. We can have a peaceful revolution, All we have to do, if everybody just decide, right, we're not going to work. If everybody decide, I'm not going to drive no train, no tube, no bus, we now got the hospital. No, the hospital people got the hospital. People have to get look after. See? But we now got the city. We're not doing nothing. What, they're going to sack 40 million people? No, they ain't. But because we all think selfish, it's about our immediate self and our little surroundings, why they can dictate to us. You don't put a government in power to do what they want to do. You put a government in power to govern fairly. And not because you voted them in for 5 years. If they're not doing what they're supposed to, they have the right to just stay there. Making our lives hell. Just doing the hell what they want. Anyway, enough of that. Tune in round about this time, about 11:15, when we will be tearing apart this misnomer. Yeah, this misnomer about some treaty that was written in 1700 and odd. And it doesn't say anything about Africans. I will read it to you because I've got it right here. Sis Empress Nye.
Yes. So right about now we're talking about the Race Offenders Register. I just want to make sure. Reform Pursuit, are you online?
Yes,
live with us?
Yes, he's live with us. You're live with you, King?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now this Race Offender Register.
Yes.
Right. So this Race Offender Register, could you tell us what it's about, what's the purpose of it, and how it would work?
Okay, yes, so I'll just start off by saying I've got a shout out to the lady who actually created this. She's the mastermind behind it. It's Emma Jane Leslie. We know her as MZ. I actually became aware of this about 6 months ago. I was watching on Insta Live and I heard her talking about petitioning to the government to create a race offenders register. So straight away I was intrigued. I thought, okay, so what's this all about? What came to mind was obviously
Karen,
sex offenders register, which is something that's already out there. And basically, in a nutshell, what it is it's basically a petition that we've created and sent to the government, and petitioning so that potential organisations can be aware of potential employees that have a history of race-related offences, and they will go on a register, and it's a deterrent, so to speak, to stop them from being put in positions of power where they hold authority over black people. You know, you don't want somebody that's racist delivering your baby in a hospital or sat on a HR panel in your employment. So that was the idea behind it. Reform, can you come in and just give a little bit more clarity, please?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, ultimately, as you said, right, MZ came up with a petition to effectively move for a race offenders register. And from a reform perspective, we as well saw MZ on the Raspect Live platform. We then engaged MZ, we had conversations, we kind of looked at the strategic roadmap as far as how could you actually take this concept and move it through the legal system. And we came up with the conclusion that the best thing to do is look at existing race hate crime. So after doing a bit of research, we basically decided to focus on the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998, the Criminal Justice Act 2003, and the Public Order Act of 1986, Part 3. Considering the fact that those are hate crimes that, or it's law effectively, that already exist, and if somebody is convicted and found guilty of any one of those 3 crimes, you could then look to, in addition to any other consequences that the court deem fit, you could then look to make an amendment to those laws and have the race offenders register as an attachment, so it's an additional consequence. So I guess in a nutshell, our vision was look at the system that's already there and find ways to make amendments and reforms.
So is it to attach to the race, to the hate crime, or is it something separate?
No, we looked at. I mean, the way we look at the system is I guess black and white, right? You've got the Conservative Party, you've got the Labour Party. One of those two will always be the lawmakers. You've got to look at the situation as, okay, well, if that's the setup, then how can we manipulate the setup to introduce something like this, right? And as Naeem mentioned, for example, with the sex offenders register, they had to take a similar process where they had to examine the system as it stood and what amendments could be made to introduce something to effectively target paedophiles and so forth. So we've kind of looked at the blueprint, looked at MZ's idea, looked at the legal system, referred to legal practitioners, done a lot of research, and that would seem to be the most practical way to push something like this through.
So there was a petition. Could you tell me a bit more about the petition?
Yeah, absolutely. The petition is still live. It's an official Parliament petition. And I guess in a nutshell with the petition is you've got 2 scenarios. Either one, if you get 10,000 signatures and above, that forces a mandatory response from the government. If you achieve 100,000 signatures, that puts the government in a position to consider the petition for debate in Parliament. So in addition to assisting in pushing the petition and getting the numbers through, we've engaged MPs in the background as well, so we can start to get a level of lobbying going on behind the scenes in Parliament.
Mm-hmm. So how much people have you lot got?
So we had 10,000 a few days ago.
10,937 signatures.
Okay.
Sorry, bro. Say that again. What are we on exactly?
10,937 signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was a bit of controversy, though, with regards to us getting to the 10,000, because the deadline's on the 16th, 16th of January, so, but we did have a bit of controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne?
Yeah, absolutely. It was an interesting situation. So we actually, well, when Empress Nay got involved, I give credit where credit's due. She actually got those numbers from, I think it was at 8,000 and odd. I can't remember exactly what the number was, about 8,200, something like that. Empress Nay got involved, pushed the petition. We actually got to, I believe, maybe 9,200, 9,300. And all of a sudden, the numbers just started to dwindle and vanish for no apparent reason.
Literally, so, just out of nowhere, they were just going down and down and down and down, yeah.
So what you're saying to me is that when you look on the internet, it was one thing, and then when you look back at it again, it good on.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be straight to the point, right? Sabotage. There was an effort to delete the signatures that we achieved. MD then contacted the actual parliamentary petition department, and we're effectively in a battle, I guess. We're in a position where we're disputing the reason for the numbers being deleted. Their position was that there were fraudulent signatures, and therefore they ran various different algorithms and checked IP addresses but
haven't provided any evidence. Sorry, I'm just coming in, bro. They haven't given any sort of specific evidence. They've just made that claim. Given the fact that we had a few days left, they just literally made that claim with no evidence or anything at all.
Yep.
Aren't they supposed to send you a report on if you had fraudulent signatures?
Yeah, it's a good point. So that's what we've been pushing for: a bit more clarity, a bit more transparency as far as if it's a case where they're fraudulent signatures, then we'd like to see the stats. We'd like to see a bit of proof on that, and that's an ongoing investigation in the background. There's been a lot of efforts to bring this idea down, really, but irrespective of the negative attempts, we've still surpassed 10,000. The government now has to take the petition seriously and respond accordingly. The MPs that we've engaged in the background already support the petition, so we'll continue to move forward. Platforms like yourself giving the voice to get this idea out. This hats off to platforms like yourself, and we'll continue to move forward. There's no stopping the drive.
Do me a favor, beloved. Could you tell us what is the actual name of the petition and how people can access it to sign it? Is it still in operation?
Yeah, the petition's live. I mean, Empress Nay's got her Instagram live running. Maybe best to just post the actual URL in the chat.
All right, so people are listening to the radio station now, and somebody's interested in signing this particular petition. Obviously, with the petition comes a bio of what the petition's about, so they can read what it's about before they sign it. How would they go about finding your petition?
Well, I guess as far as getting a bit more detail on the background, you could go to, at the moment, the Instagram platform, race_offenders_register. There's a lot of...
do me a favor, beloved. This is radio. And sometimes people sit down, they might watch them television and they listen. Some people sit down, them now no pen or nothing with them. Them phone are set a certain way. So if you can say it slightly slower in OP. So somebody, if they wanted to Google, what would they have to tap in?
Okay, so petition.parliament.uk. Go on to there, go on to the government. Similar to, the Stop the Maangamizi, what we're doing with reparations. It's the same sort of government petition as that.
Yeah, but tell the people then.
So it's petition.parliament.uk.
Oh, stop.
Am I going too fast?
Right, this is what happens with radio. A lot of people, they go very fast and people don't get to capture it. And what you'll find, somebody start texting in and writing, oh, could you do that again? Could you call out the name again? So just do it slower so people can get it.
Yes, Prophet. Petition.parliament.uk. Then it's /petitions/328-115. That's the exact link. But if you know what Google's like, you can go onto Google, just type in government petitions, race offenders register. It's there. You can also go on the Instagram. There's 2 Instagram pages. There's race_offenders_register, and there's race offenders register #1. And you can also check out Reform Pursue on Instagram as well. So the platforms are there. We're currently working on the website. But yeah, the journey is just beginning. Like we've received, like we said, we've hit the 10,000 despite the sabotage. but we're trying to get to 100,000 now so that we can at least have a conversation, because they have to consider debating it once we get to 100,000. So I just kind of wanted to come on here and just speak to the people and just kind of like get a feel for what people think about it. There's been a lot. I've had quite a mixed bag. I know me and you've spoke about it, Prof. It's a mixed reactions to it. I think it's an excellent idea. I can't believe it's not been done before. I think that we experience a lot of injustice as a people, and there's never any sort of consequences. To me, this is a tangible solution. It's something that we should all be pushing. We should all be getting behind it. Not only do we experience institutionalized racism, there is also a toxic culture of exclusion, especially within the corporate world. And basically, in a nutshell, what that is they say, you know, there's diversity. We've got black people here, we've got Asian people here, but you'll find the black people and the Asian people are held back from the senior management positions and the executive positions. So there's a glass ceiling for us, so to speak. We can be the cleaners, you know, we can be middle management, we can take all of those positions, right up to, I'd say, head of casework. But then above that, when you've got your board members and your executives...
And your CEO and all them people there.
Right, CEO, chief executives, all right. We're non-existent. We're excluded. We're excluded. So it's not diversity. And also, there's another term which absolutely makes... You know how I feel about this term. It makes me sick. BAME, what they like to basically band about. It's another terminology that they have for us. And in a nutshell, as everybody knows, what BAME is it's basically a way of describing everybody who's not white. So they put us all into this same box, and they use the word BAME, and they use that to say that they're a diverse organisation, because what they'll do is they'll get a token person from another community. So just to say BAME is, what is it, black, Asian and minority ethnics. So they will take maybe an Asian person and put them in the senior executive position and say, right, we're diverse, we've filled our quota. And as we all know, we're all very different, you know. Yes, we are, you know, what they like to call ethnic minorities, even though we're the majority of people on this planet. But the reality is that the black community has a different type of struggle. We have got a different history, and we have faced different sort of levels of discrimination. So you cannot put us all in the same box and, you know, just class us all as one, because, you know, that isn't the way that it is, the reality of it. So, yes, people.
So, this race register, race offenders register, what would define, and this is, you know, strange coming from me, but what would define a racist, and what would they have to do to get onto that register?
Okay, so the...
Because is it like, you know, for example, sorry for cut you.
No.
Is it like, for example, you know, the sex offender business there? You know, paedophile, rapist and them kind of people, them have to sign something to go about a sex offender thing. Is it going to be something similar to that?
Okay, so...
I think...
You're going, King.
Take the floor, Dwayne.
Yeah, just to dive in there. So to answer your question, really, that's where we've looked at the current existing laws that deal with racism, right? So, as I say, you've got the Crime and Disorder Act, 1998, Criminal Justice Act, 2003, Public Order Act, 1986. If somebody's convicted of a hate crime, the idea is that they would then be put onto the quote-unquote race offenders register.
All right. See, I'm not against this. It sounds like a fair idea, but I'm a bit perturbed by this, because in your petition, in your lobbying to the government,
yeah,
in the paper that you've written, what is your definition of racist?
To be convicted of a racial offence.
And how, what would you define as a racist offence?
Well, I guess so. That's a fair question. I mean, what I would suggest that you really do, rather than me give you my definition, because everybody has their own view on what racism actually is, I think the best approach really is to look at how it's defined under those 3 laws that I've quoted.
Yeah, well, can you do that?
Pardon?
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can go onto the any government website. You can Google those hate.
All right. I'll tell you why I asked you that question, beloved. Because when they created the Commission of Racial Equality in this country, the first person to be convicted on the Race Relation Act was a black man. Did you know that?
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
His name was Michael X. He was the first person to be convicted on the race relation. The thing that was set up to protect black people in this country, it was used to convict a black man.
And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
So what I'm saying is, I want to know what this definition is, because, you know, you might turn to a white man still, you know, and say to a white man, F off, you white, whatever not. And they will say that's racist.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I think you've got a number of different layers to the whole idea, right? So I think one of the best things to do is we'd also need to educate our people on the ways of going about actually reporting hate crimes and things like that. So, I mean, we as a people, right, the system's always been against us, so we don't have any faith in the system, and that's perfectly understandable, right? But what I've looked at is other communities, like the Jewish community, the Asian community, got various other communities that, although the system has been against them at various different points for whatever reasons I won't go into, but they've found ways to use the system to benefit them.
King, I have no issues with that. And don't think that I'm fighting down what we're not doing. But what I do know is that they will use these laws against our people. Because I them in the seat of power, you know.
But sorry to interrupt you, but
yes, sir.
That's the point. That's where you've got a different perspective to consider. We have to now use the system in our benefit, because the system's here to stay whether we like it or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
we are 3% of the population.
Or we sit back and put white towel in and say, well, we're just never going to get anywhere, so what's the point? And I was having a conversation with someone a few weeks ago, and I said, if you actually look at history as far as where things were in regards to us literally being on slave plantations, or it being illegal for black people to read books, or we can't go into certain pubs and so forth, we've definitely come a long way, but we're not at the finish line. And it's by pushing for change and using the system to benefit our people is how we actually rise from where we were to where we are right now.
Hold on, Russell Singh, I know you're calling in, but just let me finish with them, and then I'll let you come through, beloved, and then I'll let you speak. But let me just finish with the brother and sister, and then I'll open up the line for people who want to ask questions. I've got somebody who put a text here on the Facebook. They said, "Rise up, Prophet Kwaku, and to your guest, Empress Nai. I just wanted to point out racism is structural and systematic. So this race offenders list to record those who commit overt racism, or will you be? Will you be going for all people who perpetuate racism, who are in charge of policy that increases racial oppression?" That's a question that's asked from the Facebook.
I mean, it's a good question. I think the only way I can really answer that is, I don't know. Let's say, for example, you've got a car, you've got car keys, you've got a car, but it's up to you to choose to drive the car. The car's there, so we got to look at, okay, well, what tools are there that we can use to battle for our own people? And the legal system governs the country, so you have to look at the legal system and say, okay, well, what tweaks can we push for to benefit our people? And it's not a case of you just get the race register and you just celebrate and pop champagne bottles. We then need to use the system, report hate crimes when we're on the receiving end, use the system. You can go onto the Reform website, for example, and there's a link on the bottom and you can literally report a hate crime online. We have to use the system against those that are using the system against us. There's no other way around it.
Bro,
I mean, you could go and protest and march for years and years and years, and it's not really going to make no difference. We have to attack the system. We have to empower the people. We have to educate the people. We have to become more economically strong. We have to have our own companies. We have to lead. We have to...
I hear that, beloved, but you see, I'm telling you right now, you're in a white man country. White man run this country. Him are the majority. Him are we're in the belly, and in fact we're in the brain of the people them that kidnap us and put us on concentration camps for 400 years, brethren. So don't expect no them for uproot for them system to assist us. So what I'm saying to you is that this system, this thing that you know, all time people ever saying, you know, mind where you pray for, 'cause you might just get it. Yep. So you see what I'm saying? Because I'm using history as an example.
Well,
but let me just come in here, please.
Let's use history.
Let me use history as an example. I just want to add, sorry, Dwayne, I'm going to let you come in. Remember when we was on the plantations and we was getting beaten, we was getting whipped and our
concentration camps,
cut off and all of them things. There would have been slaves on that plant. I don't like saying slaves. Africans. There would have been enslaved Africans.
That's right, yes.
On that plantation that would have thought, you know what, we ain't never coming up out of this. Appealing to massa or whatever, it's never ever going to work. But look at where we are in 2020. Okay, we're under mental enslavement now and racism and all these things, but we're off the plantation. We actually made it off. And so we have to accept the fact.
Stick up in there. Stick up in there.
Go on.
I agree with you, but I want to tweak what you're saying.
In what way?
The enslaved Africans and those plantations that made the change wasn't the one them that lobbied. Yeah, the enslavers. Or the one them would chop up them reggae and deal with them case. That's the one them who make a change. Not the one them that was sitting down and trying to, you know, them can read and all them things and try to legislate.
I disagree with that. It was a combination of both.
No combination.
We had no power. Do you know that? Sorry, come in, Dwayne.
No, 1 second. In 1791, when the Africans in Haiti waged war upon the French, and at that time,
the Haitian Revolution.
The French was the superpower of the day. Them was ruled by a man called Napoleon Bonaparte, and them bust up boy. There was no negotiation. No, there was no what's it name. The murder boy and make boy know so them can dead. You're dealing with the people them who don't respect you. Power, respect power. That's all. There's no... I'm not saying that you mustn't do it, you know. I'm saying try to shore up the ends. Because them use it against your... Because do you... let me ask you this question. What your name again? What the brother name?
Dwayne.
D. Let me ask a question, Dwayne. Do you think that African people can be racist?
Do I think African people can be racist? I don't know what the relevance of that question really is to the race offender register itself, to be honest. What do you mean?
All right. You know why I asked you that question? Because I'm saying to you that we can't be racist. We can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist. Racist is prejudice plus power. The power to impose your ideological system on another group of people. We don't have that power.
Or to be able to affect their lives.
That's right. To affect their lives.
I agree with
right?
that.
I can turn to a white man today and
it's more
cuss
than
him.
Name calling.
It's more. That's the point I'm trying to make.
But I wouldn't dispute that point with you, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't dispute that. I wouldn't say you're right, you're wrong, or anything. What I would say is the Race Offenders Register is a very good first step in us looking at the system and trying to find ways to make racist people feel very concerned about their conduct and their behavior. Because human nature in general is governed by laws. If you think you can get away with something, you do it. If you think you can't, you don't. If you thought you could walk into a bank and just pick up £1 million and walk out, there was no consequences, you do it. If you had people like all of those EVR members and all these types of racist people, if they had to say to themselves, okay, I was racist at the football match, I had a good old time calling black people monkeys and whatever else, but when I go to work, I might lose my job because of my antics.
Right.
They might reevaluate how they communicate outwardly. You can never change what a person thinks in their head, but what you can do is try to adjust the behaviours, which will then result in us not having to deal with direct racism, which is very regular, happens a lot. Our reform office, we get phone calls nearly every single day about people dealing with racism at work. We've got a team that are set there to deal with those matters as well. Mm-hmm. We're heavily engaged in making changes. And that's all my focus really is to look at the system, what can be done, what amendments can we make, what changes can we make. Anything else is a conversation that I'm happy to have all day long, but we have to be proactive. We have to be active. Do you know what I mean?
And I would I agree with you 1,000,000%, Dwayne. And also, you know, with a lot of people that make objections, when I ask them, well, what's the alternative? What's your suggestion? Because right now we are experiencing racism in every aspect of our work, within the corporate world, within retail, everywhere, and there is absolutely no consequences whatsoever. There is nothing in place for these people to be dealt with. If you are at your workplace and you steal something or whatever and they want to get rid of you, they can dismiss you as gross misconduct. We want to have something where, you know, if and whenever you go onto your next job, they're going to want a reference. It will say gross misconduct on there. They're allowed to actually state that. We want to have something where if it's a racially related offence that you've committed, there's got to be some sort of marker there. There's got to be something to deter people from thinking that, you know, they can be racist and get away with it.
So that would mean
there has to be some form of consequence. And just to put in context what you're saying, Prof, we've got to understand, yes, power with power. We're not in our lands. We're 3% of the population here. So we can't just come in and think we're going to change their system.
Don't think
we have to make amendments to their system. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're more likely to be heard in that sense.
All right, then. So then what would have to happen? It would have to go through the judicial system as well, because somebody would have to be convicted of that. So,
well, this is what Dwayne's saying about...
One second. The reason why I'm asking these questions, because these are probably questions people want to ask.
Yeah.
Well,
so, big up yourself, Ivan. Ivan, rise up yourself. Yeah, what I'm saying is this, is that they would have to be arrested, taken to court, and be found guilty of that offence, innit?
But how about this? How about, think about it, yeah. I'm from Yorkshire, so you don't need to tell me nothing.
Yeah, but talking on mic so the people can hear you.
People can hear me, man. You hear me, everyone?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, what was I saying?
You're from Yorkshire.
Right, so think about how many times somebody's called you a racial slur or said something, and it doesn't even cross your mind to report it. But if you... so it's about changing the mind of our people. If you report it, then it's on record as a hate crime. If they're cautioned, they could potentially then be put on the register with even a caution. Am I correct in saying that, Dwayne?
You're spot on. That's everything you said is exactly what it is.
It's just about reporting it. You can even report it in your house. You were saying to me, Dwayne, right? You go online. It's about
go online and report hate crime.
Tell them.
Yeah, but Dwayne.
Yeah.
In order to initiate that person have to be convicted of that crime. So if say for instance I said to somebody, if you this and that, or you this, you know, use what they call racial connotation, verbal insults. They would have to prove that I did that. So I could deny it and say, well, boy, and we go, cool. What evidence have they got? So you'd have to get witnesses and all that type of stuff. So they can't caution you for something if they don't have the evidence.
Okay, let me.
So it's a court case running, is not true.
Let's say, for example, you're at work, right? I don't know, for some reason, someone was stupid enough to send you an email and call you, like, I don't know, some kind of racial slur in that email. You've got your evidence right there. You've got your time trial, you've got your stamp. You report the hate crime, you go online, comfort of your own home, report the crime, submit your evidence, let the system play out as it's set. Obviously, you have to push for the system to play out as it should. And as I say, we have a team to support individual cases all the way along the journey. We're creating partnerships with law firms, etc. We are actively here to help, right? So we would support the people. You can dial the office, you can send us an email, no problem. We'll support you all the way through that entire process. the person actually gets convicted of the crime. Once upon a time, it was just a slap on the wrist. In addition, you get put on the race register offender.
I've got a question that does come in, Dwayne. It says, will there be any anti-racist program or training for the offenders attached to this act?
That is a very good question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, Brother Delani,
Thank you,
big up
Brother
yourself.
Delani.
Yeah, good question. We're working, as I say, like Empress Nay's part of the team. You've got MZ. There's a number of different people in the background. We're all a part of this collaboration to get the job done. We're looking into workshops and we're looking to go to organisations and actually carry out anti-racist training and so forth, and push the knowledge forward on how to actually address and deal with these issues. That's what I mean, where it's not a case of, it can't be as simple as there's a petition, everyone sign it, the end. That's just nonsense. There's a number of different steps, a number of different layers, a number of different tiers to add to this entire...
I'm fully aware of how the whole petition thing works, because, I was involved in the the reparation thing, and, we know about petitions. But you have to understand and understand that I have to question you in the way that I'm questioning you, so that our people can get some clarity on what it is you're doing. So what I'm going to do now, brother Dwayne, I'm going to open up the lines for anybody that potentially want to call in and ask you some questions. Now, I don't know if our engineer is listening, but the WhatsApp is not up. So normally we get people that will send questions on WhatsApp. So what I'll have to say to people is to send your questions just on the text at the moment. See? Because the WhatsApp is not up and working at this present moment in time. So I'm just asking the engineer, if the engineer is tuned in, to sort out the WhatsApp. I would love that. I'm going to give out the number. The number is +44 if you are abroad, and then you drop the next 02 07 193 0174. That's +44. Drop the next 0 if you are abroad. 02 07 193 0174. That's a live link number if you want to ask a question in relation to this petition that they're talking about. The what you call again?
Race offenders register.
Yeah. Man, the way you said that,
Race offenders
Race offenders register. A petition to get something called the Race Offenders Register, so people them like Tommy Robinson and all them boy they can get charged, and Nigel Farage and all them boy. Not that they were charging, but it got already. So that's the live link number if you want to call in and have a conversation with Sister Empress Nye or Brother Dwayne, who's on the line also. That's 02 07 193 0174 is a local number in Britain, and it's free because it's a Skype number. So if you go on Skype and access it that way, you'll be nice. You understand me? Yeah, it's live on the Skype. It's free. If you want to send a text in and ask a question, it's 073 77 92 07 03. Big up my brethren, Sir Lyde, hold tight, and condolences on the loss of your father, my brother. Yeah, brilliant tribute that you did to him. I saw the emotions. I know exactly how you feel. Lost my father last year, August the 30th. So, me know the feeling. Not last year before last. Year before, 2019, my old man passed away. My brother passed away a year this month, the 30th this month. And so I know you feel, beloved. So if anybody want to ring in and ask some questions, feel free to call in about this new petition that wants to petition the government to initiate and to establish a race offender
register. Or if you can provide any, tangible solutions, because we're open to hearing what everybody has to say. So if you have an alternative or a suggestion, please let us know.
Right, somebody said on your thing, so true, I have met Tommy Robinson and debated him amazingly. He had an outlook on black and white unite.
Shout out to
what was the law?
Insta.
Somebody just said, what was the law? It said what was the law? I don't know.
Dwayne, can you just say the 3 laws that you're trying to amend?
What was the number? The number is 0. Right. If you're abroad, it's +44, and then you drop the next 0. If you're not abroad, it's 02 07 193 01 74. That's the live link number. And if you want to send a text in with a question, it's 073 77 920703. That's a WhatsApp number and a text number, but the WhatsApp is not on. So evidently the engineer is not listening to the show. So because the WhatsApp hasn't come up on the screen. Normally we can see the engineer playing about with the thing and all the rest of it. But the WhatsApp hasn't come up on the screen. Let me see if anybody's sending a text to ask a question. Hold on there. I live radio this,
Did you want the answer in regards to the laws that they report?
Yes, please, Dwayne. Talk.
Yeah, no problem. So there's 3 different laws to focus on, right? Mm-hmm. The Crime and Disorder Act, 1998.
Repeat that again.
Crime and Disorder Act, 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Criminal Justice Act, 2003. Public Order Act, 1986, Part 3.
So you're trying to attach it to those? Or as an alternative?
That is the focus, because we have to use the system against the system. We have to educate our people on how to actually do what has been done. Do you see what I mean?
But could they not say that well, we've already done that because we got the Race Hate Act now, a hate crime? Couldn't they do that?
Well, you've got the hate crimes as the crimes the laws that I've just mentioned, right? But you don't have the race offender register, and you don't have any significant consequences for those convicted of those crimes. What we want to look at is, for example, when you go for a job and you have to fill in an application form, and there's a section where it normally says, do you have any spent or non-spent convictions under the Rehabilitation Act, etc. If somebody's convicted of one of those crimes, we want them to be in a psychological position, because a part of this is the psyche of human nature as well, right? To think to themselves, if I've got to get myself a job, I've got my bills to pay, I've got to look after my kids, whatever the situation is, and I have to actually I have to submit this information on my application form that effectively confirm that I've been convicted of being racist, and I'm also going to be on a register, and however the register works as far as is it viewable to the public and so on and so forth, how much more can we make it similar to the sex offenders register is a debate to continue as we move forward. But you want to start to create a scenario where people that are, as you said, rightfully so, the likes of the Tommy Robinsons of the world, you want them to start thinking a little bit more before they speak. That's the drive. Because at the moment, they know that they can just do whatever they do at the football match, go back to work on Monday, no problems. And we're living in a different time right now. So since the death of George Floyd, we've seen a rise for change, right? You've had situations I've seen on Instagram where people that were conducting various different racist behaviour, people would put it all around on Instagram. Next thing you know, it gets to the person's employer, and they've actually been dismissed. I've seen that, and I'm sure you have as well, right?
From Facebook posts and stuff, We're living in different times now, and as much as, I've always said Black Lives Matter, the organisation I'm not affiliated with, but, the message, Black Lives Matter, we can't deny the light that they've shone on what we're experiencing, and so we have to capitalise on that right now. And anything that we can push for, now is the time. You with me? The whole world is talking. You know, we've got to keep our foot on the gas and we've got to keep this moving. Because right about now, you couldn't even say anything about institutionalised racism. They won't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So now's the time.
You're spot on, Nate. We have to take advantage of the situation and push for change. If as you said as well, Nate, if we didn't push for change how many hundreds of years ago, we'd still be in the same spot.
Exactly.
Okay, 1 second there, Brother Dwayne. Is there another person on the line?
Yes, rise up, Prophet Kwaku. It's Brother Nat.
Yeah, Brother Nat, go on through, my king.
All right, well, first of all, just give thanks to your guests. You know, it's good to hear, you know, any type of action that's to try and push and squeeze what is the winning battle and winning war, I believe anyway, it's inevitable, is a good thing. And similar to you, Prophet Kwaku, you know, I see it and I see that it's good, but I'm also mindful of the facts, similar to exactly what Audrey Lorde has said, using master's tools to bring down master's house. It is debatable. You know, it's something we need to think about, because normally, and the first thing that came to mind is, like what was already mentioned, you need being very firm about your definition of race or racism when this is coming into play, because they can and they will use it against us. And the first thing I thought about is when young black boys come up against the police and they get agitated and then become aggressive towards the police can then say, we are putting you on the race offenders list because we incite that you called me a white so-and-so, or, you know, there's something they can easily manipulate. So it's just being mindful that they create the system that when they feel like it can use against us. The only thing, you know, because I don't want to put a downer on it, but I say the only thing which I see it as is we have to be smart on knowing the definition. But personally, anything towards approaching them, of having any type of conversation, which has already been said, is reparations. It starts and ends with reparations for me, and that's it. I don't want to have any other conversation with them. But I support what you're doing. My question is, how do you deal with that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you.
Hi. Is it Brother Nate? Nat?
No, Brother Nat, yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
Brother Nat, Noel, yeah, right.
Can I just ask you, because you said reparations is the way forward, but, you know, isn't that the same thing that you're saying? Because that's also a petition to the government, right? So what's to stop the government from... I wouldn't say the same.
I would say that it's a little kind of component to, we might as well just do reparations. Reparations, you start with it, and until they come... Because earlier today, I was in the Zoom with Sister Esther, Sister Jendai, and they were just, they had the councillors, Bristol, Lambeth, they've approved the reparations. So it's about just, we want exactly what we want. We don't want any type of crumbs. Not to say that the race offenders list is a crumb, but it's that it can be used against us.
Yeah, but you're asking the same people. It's the same people that you're saying, you know, why are we appealing to the government? It's the same government that you're appealing to for reparations.
No, I don't appeal to the government. I demand. I say to the government, this is what we're getting, and until you want to have that conversation, go along, because we're dealing with our reparations right now. And that is healing thyself, healing we, and recognizing that we have it within us to not even go to them for anything. We can just build. If we put 80% of our energy into building us and 20% into paying attention to their foolishness so that they don't stick the knife further into our back, and we just concentrate on them trying to infiltrate, and then when they're ready to have the conversation about reparations, that's what I'm about. I do not appeal to the government for anything. I demand, I tell them, and no requesting, no asking, no appealing. I yield.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Hold on, I got
I yield the floor.
Yeah, no, you're going. Dwayne, you there, you know.
Talk, man.
Dwayne, you can't talk. You can't talk. Him can't hear you, you know, Dwayne. Him can't hear you.
what?
I mean, no problem. I'm just letting the man put his question out, really.
No. I mean, the question is how do you shore up the definition of race, at least just for our people, so that we know we don't use it, it doesn't get used against us. But
I think, I guess to give you like a simple answer, I hope it sits right, is as I said, what we have to do is create workshops and create various different ways of engaging our communities via the likes of yourselves, community leaders, to teach our people how to use the system. So, for example, when you mentioned police officers putting young men on the race offenders register, there's another side to that coin, right? You could also have a situation where police officers put on that register as well.
Who's going to enforce that?
Well, this is what
our police.
Pardon?
Who's our police? This is what I mean. What police is going to charge another police officer? What court is going to charge another court?
You've got a system. Look, you've got a system, as I said, right, as you've said, that's set against black people and so on, right? But what was happening, as I said before, hundreds of years ago, is not happening now. And those are due to systematic changes that we had to push for. So the journey doesn't just finish now. We don't say, okay, it's 2021, I've got my nice car, I've got my house now, I'm just going to it doesn't stop there.
You know what, Brother Dwayne? I hear you, but I've been thinking for a bit of time now. Would I even give up all of them physical chains for the mental chain? Would have preferred people to have the mentality of the Harriet Tubman, Kwame Nkrumah, Marcus Garvey, like just give up all the kind of, like what we're saying, off the concentration camp. When I would be happy maybe if we was on the concentration camp and we actually all had the mindset, which is we are on the field. We are field kings and queens. We're getting off of this whole thing. So it's like, I hear you, my brother, and I want to support you, and I will. I find the position hard, and I will spread the word on, when we do our thing on Galaxy as a family. But I implore the similar things of Prof in the fact that, remember, they are a beast when they come to the thing. I don't want to laud them, but I just want to say, know what you're up against. It's a scorpion, it's a snake.
And it's the same snake that you're up against when you're petitioning for reparations. And that's the point I'm trying to make, my brother. It's the same government. So I'm not getting what you're saying.
Okay, the government. So when we talk about reparations, I'm talking about every single son and daughter of African around the world going up against this little itty-bitty thing called Europe. And we are 1.7 billion in strong. So this fight with regards to the police, which is targeted in a particular areas of this little island we call the UKKK, is a small thing to me. To me, the whole thing is
Brother Nat?
Some brothers all around the world. Yes, bro.
Yeah, Brother Nat. You know what? I'm not against any African that's taking any action to defend our people.
No, don't get me wrong.
You understand what I'm saying, King? Yeah.
100.
And I'm not against what Brother Dwayne and Sister Ado, but they must realize that when they're doing something like this and they're coming on a platform like this, they're going to get tested. They're going to be asked the questions. And, we've been on this thing, and just the other day, me upon this thing, so it's a long time. It's 1967. Michael X, they get charged under the race relation act, You understand me, I say? So,
and it comes out of love, Prof.
Mm-hmm.
I see Sister Naya, she's my sister. Brother Dwayne, he's my brother. I have the utmost
concern,
well-being at home.
Yes, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so we don't want it, yeah.
The fact,
Can I read out?
Just to add there, and to be very clear, like, I've got no issues with the hard questions, and do you know what I mean? Because there has to be a filtering process. If the idea can't stand up to the scrutiny, then it's going to fail anyway. So I've got no issues with the hard questions. I'd rather a conversation like this than like a nice little pat on the back. Oh, yeah, it's brilliant. I wish you
Well,
all the
you come to the right place, Dwayne.
And I don't have no issues either. I don't have no issues either. But what I would say is that I'm tired of people telling me, no, it's not going to work. No.
No, nobody never said that.
Hold on a second, Prof. Hold on a second.
No, it's not.
If you come in with an objection,
1 second.
you have to come with a solution.
Yeah, 1 second,
That's
Sister
all I'm
Nye.
saying.
No,
Empress.
1 second. Sister Nye. Empress Nye. Now, when we say 1 second, we just expect you to just say 1 second.
All right.
No, say you're passionate at them thing there. Nobody on here is saying that you shouldn't do it. What we're doing, we're questioning, will it be used against us?
Right.
That's what we're questioning. We're saying we know about it. It's a good idea, but we know how the wicked is and how then we use it for them own benefit. You understand what I say?
And so what I'm saying as a response to that is
so
instead of sitting there or wherever you are, instead of saying that, come to me with a solution. How do we counteract that? How do we strengthen ourselves? How do we
Every
work
day
together?
is war.
I'm right
War.
there. I'm with you. You know,
Right?
I'm with you.
Well, let me read
But
out.
come with solutions.
Let me read out this text. Let me read out this text. There's a whole heap of solutions.
Give me one.
Yeah? Right, whole heap.
My favourite topic.
Right. Otep Prophet, can you repeat the names of the alternative to WhatsApp and spell it slowly, please? Give thanks. Picking you up loud and clear in Kilburn, North West London. Right. Suprika. Suprika. It's a black, gold, and green icon. There's also Telegraph. Are we the other one? Signal.
Signal.
So there's 3 different ones. Yeah? All right. So I'm going to give them that. Hold on then. Another text coming in. 1 second. Wait there.
Why are the calls not coming in? Because people are saying,
No, people's on the line. Right.
let the calls.
You would have to put Boris on it. Kwame. Then that means sacking almost all white people from their jobs. A big up Kwame. Greetings, Prophet. Just listening to your show, the law around racism doesn't seem to work, as you have to prove that the person accused is or has been racist. The high-profile case I can think of is John Terry. Yeah, blatant racism, but he got away with it. Technically, he was at his workplace. That is a very good text, actually. Good idea, but I think there may be cases where some offenders may slip through the net, just like these pedophiles that are also on the sex offender register. Can I ask if people are aware of the situation with Sasha Johnson, who needs community support for using the word coon? She is in danger of being a modern-day Michael X. And secondly, while I agree with the register, is a great idea. Big up Emma J, Empress Nay, and Dwayne for their work. What's about the Race Relation Act? Yeah, that's a question for you, Sister Nye and Dwayne.
Dwayne, I'm going to let you answer that, please.
Yeah, well, I know. Still have more text to read, you know.
How are we going to remember?
Yeah,
let him answer that one. That's a good one.
Hold on. Most racial offences have a maximum 2-year sentence, 6 months. Minimum. So the racist does not have to disclose their conviction, as it would not fall in the unspent category. So how would register get around this? So, Dwayne, there's 2 questions for you. You answer them, and then I've got somebody else on the line. So, go on, Dwayne.
Yeah. I think Neil was right. It's hard to remember all of them. There's quite a few questions in there.
You want me? Hold on. No, there was 2 questions. Hold on. Let me read it. Let me read the other question for you.
Yeah.
The question is, what about the Race Relations Act, 1977 and 2000?
Well, what about it?
Yeah, what is the question? What about it? As in, do I know anything about it, or
does anybody know who Sasha Johnson is?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Sasha.
I don't know. Who's she?
I went to court with her.
She's an activist.
On a couple of days ago.
Oh, is someone...
Oh, not right. Go on.
Yeah, no, I've been supporting her at court, and it started off in Battersea, and they were carrying on foolish, but it's been put to not guilty, and she's going to try and pursue it further, but there's come a point where we're going to have to kind of assess on things. But I did want to just interject and say solutions is my favourite subject, and when it comes to that, I was just thinking, and when I think about doing for self, Sister and I, Brother Dwayne, whether they agree to this race offenders list or not, let's just create it anyway. And that way, we control it, we'll decide who goes on the list, we'll just put whoever comes into contact and we make it big and we send it to our community. If they want to know it, then they can. If they don't, then who cares? The way I'm feeling is that we just cultivate self-reliance. We don't need to, yes, they control the masses, but the more we just pay them no mind, but only when they try to do stupidness to us, the better. So whether you win with this or not, let's just create it anyway.
All right.
So I agree that we should create one as well, but we need to be able to have, there needs to be consequences, and because we don't hold any power at the moment.
Civil arrest. We'll deal with that too. We've got forever friends. They're not perfect, but, you know, we've got our own police, our own hospitals, our own schools, our own buildings, our own stations, our own, you know, everything.
All on there, brother Nat. Please tell your guests about Priti Patel, Ricky Sunak, and the London Mayor.
I just want to just weigh in there for a second, yeah, because I'm obviously a black man myself, right, and I've been through...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, now you do, right? I've been through a lot of things, yeah. I don't necessarily, or I've lived a large portion of my life not having next to any faith in the system, because history tells me the system goes against my own people, right? But at the same time, you've got to take that next step and say, okay, well, as Empress Nay said many times, well, what am I actually going to do? And I think the harsh, brutal reality is we need to use the system in our favour. We could complain about how the system's against us. Of course it's against us. That's just a fact now. That just has to be looked at as a black and white fact. Okay, it's against us. All right, so what are we going to do? Because if the system's being used against us, we've got to then use the system against itself.
I've got a text here. It says...
100%.
Sorry, let me just finish, because you guys keep saying I'm not talking, right? We can't act like we weren't once upon a time in chains and being whiplashed and hung and all these things. It didn't come... It came through, as Empress Nay said, a number of different movements, and one of which was to turn the system against itself. That's why you get to a point where certain things are not legal anymore.
No. One second. No. That's where you, me, and Sister Nat is going to disagree. Because for too many years, that narrative has been pushed. That we turn the system against. No, we lit down the system. We force the system to have to negotiate with we. And the evidence is there, plain to see, in all the different islands, in all the different eras and the Americas, and in all the different places on the continent. It wasn't sitting down and talking with them. You have to tear down, you have to burn down, you have to kill some of them. That's all systems change. This negotiating thing, no, you negotiate.
You know what? All right, I'll tell you something.
No, 1 second, Dwayne. 1 second.
Let me say something.
Dwayne, 1 second. 1 second, beloved. I'll let you come back. What I'm saying to you, Dwayne, is that we're not saying you mustn't do it. What we're saying is that be mindful that when it comes into pass, they will use that against us. That's what we're saying. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to have what they call some fail-safe mechanisms in case. You understand what I'm saying to you, King?
But that's the thing, Prophet.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you, we already agree on that. That's already like a case closed point. I could shake your hand on that and say, yeah, agreed. That's why we have to have the workshop. That's why we need the leaders to educate the people to actually use this tool again. You can't not, you know what I mean? Like, because as you say, right, if you have the change made, it will be used against the people. The system's geared up against the people to a degree anyway. So what do we do? There has to be, like, I'm a fighter. That's just how I am.
No. Look, don't get me wrong, King. I'm not beating that. Listen, we're not beating down what you're saying.
No,
yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, so I just want you to overstand that. So don't get too defensive.
Can I just say as well, can I just give the number out? Because I've got so many messages, I can't keep up. If you want to call up, because we're going to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, you got 5 more minutes.
Call in, it's 02 07 1930 174. Apologies, the post that I put out earlier didn't have the 4 on the end. So please, if you've got something to say, you've got a question, if you've got a tangible solution, please call.
Okay, let me read out this text. This text says, hold on a minute. Get off.
If you could post the number.
One second. I just feel like the petition is begging to be accepted or equal to the white man. 10,000 OLOC, then we need 100k before they even have a look at the petition. Yeah.
That's actually incorrect. That's not correct.
And then Brother Natra is it says Brother Natra is 100% correct. Reparations or do for self whilst doing what's right. That's what that person said. And I got another person on the line. So hold on, let me take this other call. Let me take 708. 708.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, what's the name? Where you calling from, King?
It's Bro African.
Bro African, where you calling from?
I'm calling from the other side of London, just outside London.
Yeah, okay. You got a question for Dwayne and Empress?
Yeah. I do. I want to make 2 points. One, I'm calling from outside London, about 100 miles outside London, north. Yeah. 2 points I want to make, please, if I can.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, thank you for doing a great show. It's great to see the sisters and brothers, and thank you, Kwaku, and everybody. My first point is, I'm one of the old soldiers. I don't believe in no petition, none of that stuff. I think all that fighting racism is a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. I'm from old school. We never did that in the old days. But I support anything that helps African people, black people, get forward in life. That's my point. I'm not going to spend a lot of time arguing over it. I'm completely against fighting any racism, any of that foolishness. I don't believe in it. My point is instead of a solution, simple solution. You've got a beautiful city. You've got Kwaku. My sister had 6 children with a black man. Marry him and raise those children to be the greatest people in the world. Kwaku had 10 children with a black woman and raise those children. That's a solution that all of us can implement today. It's very hard, and many of us can't even pair up. The relationship situation in this country is terrible. Most of us are at war with each other. That's one simple solution that lasts for our lifetime and for generations. I won't spend a lot of time on your show. Thank you, my brother.
Give thanks for your contribution. All right, is it 875?
Yeah, that's me, Tasha, Black Wall Street, London.
Oh, is this Sasha?
Hey, Tash.
Yes, hey, Empress.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
big up
calling.
big up yourself, Sasha. Listen. Just wait until me don't talk now. We just a button, so. Live radio.
Well, you
Yeah, go on, Sash. Nice to meet you. Thank you for calling in the show. I didn't know who you were, my queen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can
hear you.
We can hear you. Can you tell me a bit about what your circumstances like, or you want to make a comment about the actual petition and the the race offenders register?
Yeah, you know what? I just want to make a comment about how we deal with each other. You know, we should be building each other up. This is a solution.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, this is a solution that is being given. Okay, everyone's got solutions. We need to relax on the ego and be building each other up, using all of our platforms that we have to promote, plug, and give love and respect to what others are doing. You know, it doesn't have to be that we're tearing down and trying to, tear down what other people are doing, which is exactly what it feels like all of the callers and you yourself, no disrespect, is doing. You know, right now you have a platform. It should be nothing negative. It should be all positive. The questions are, I understand, are valid questions, but we need to be united, you know, instead of fighting the fight for them. You know, united we rise every single time.
Sis, I have no issues with what you just said, other than that this is a radio station. This is a liberation radio station. and we will question anybody about anything. I'm not going to make it.
Get that.
I'm saying to you, my queen.
This is where the problem lies.
My queen, 1 second, please. 1 second, please. I don't accept that there was egos about here. There are people who's got.
Correct.
They've got the right. They've got questions they want to ask. What I was saying to him was based on historical evidence. You can go and check it for yourself. Michael X got locked up, first black man to get locked up when they had the racial relation thing in the 67. My sister, with due respect, with due respect, let me finish and then you come back, my queen, please. Right? Because if you do that and then I talk over you, it look like we're arguing and all the rest of it. No, we're disagreeing, and that's not a problem. We can disagree, but we disagree respectfully. And I'm disagreeing with I'm not disagreeing with brother Dwayne or sister Empress. What I'm doing, I'm questioning them based upon evidence. I know my enemy. I know what my enemy will do. I'm in the enemy's house. So I'm very aware of his tactics. So I question on that. Doesn't mean I'm not if I wasn't supporting my brother and my sister, they wouldn't be on my show.
They wouldn't be here.
Exactly, that's the point.
What I'm saying
so go on, sis.
Is that we as a culture, we always look outside ourselves, and we're always quick to blame and to say that we've been, oppressed for so long. We need to look within ourselves, bring it back to home, and reset the people's mindset, unite, educate our people for future solutions, not rehashing old stuff. We all know our history. We've all come from there. We've all got parents, grandparents, but we need to find solutions for the future. So anything that can be done, is valid. Is valid.
Definitely, Tash. And I just want to say thank you so much for calling. You know how much I rate you. Please just tell the people exactly what you're doing with Black Wall Street. You have to plug it.
Listen, thank you. I'm not even going to plug it today because it's not even about that. It's about the petition. It's about trying to get as many names
but
on that.
Please let the people know
that we can hit them from all angles. Everybody's doing something, and we need to connect the dots, collaborate in harmony and unity, and move on to the future. We've been calling out and marching for 400 years. Ain't changed nothing.
That's not true.
We need to be...
No. I'm not going to let her get away with that, Sister Shasha. Because you know what we tend to do, yeah? We tend to berate people that march. Remember in a Birmingham in Alabama there, where the people them decide say them travel upon the people them bus. Them a go march to work. It forced the people them to make them go upon the bus and sit anywhere they want. So to say that marching.
Listen, I went and...
No, 1 second, sis.
I went and protested on the 2nd of January.
Sis.
What I'm saying is that we need to hit them from all angles.
You know what, sis? I'm going to turn your phone down. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to turn your phone down. I don't like to... I don't like for draw this thing, but I'm the presenter of the show. I'm presenting the show, and I will give you ample time to say what you want. But you see, when me talk, allow me to say what me have to say now. That's how I say. Because this is what happens now. We're shouting over each other and it looks like we're arguing. We're not. That's how we speak. Expressive black people, we're emotional. So turn it back up now, sis. I'm going to let you finish what you say and then I'll come back. Go through.
Yeah, absolutely. No disrespect meant. No disrespect meant. I just feel that, what's being highlighted here isn't getting a moment to really shine. And the whole point of what I believe is that they're being on here for is to shine a light on what they're doing. It's a movement, it's a valid movement, just like everybody else is. And what I'm saying is that we need to hit them from all angles. I'm talking from the marching to the business aspects of it, the educational aspects of it. All angles, it's all valid. But what we're not doing as a people is we're not collaborating and we're not connecting the dots. And the key to success is collaboration, and we still ain't getting it.
I agree, Tash.
1 second.
I agree.
1 second. Yeah, Sister Tash, I hear what you're saying.
Something there as well.
And 1 second, please. What I would say to you, sis, when I was co-chair of the African Emancipation Day Reparation March Committee, wherever myself or any member went, we had the same harsh questions asking us about marching, about the petition and all that type of stuff. It goes with the territory. And I don't think that we should feel offended by any of our people that has invited us on their platform to share with us. Because one of the things that we have to show, sis, is that we're critical of our own actions. We have to critique it. Because you know that we're critiquing it with love and support.
Together, there's nothing to critique.
So they can be bulletproof.
But Sister Sasha, in your opinion, or is it Tasha?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, well, it said Sasha on the thing here.
That's somebody else.
Yeah. From my opinion, from your opinion, there's nothing to critique. But from my opinion, there's something to critique. And from other people's opinions...
That's the manufactured
host.
Well, who's that? Is that Dwayne?
Brother Jeff. Brother Jeff.
Oh, Brother Jeff. Hold on a bit there, Tash. Let me bring in Brother Jeff. Brother Jeff, come in.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Rise up, King. Rise up, Brother Prophet, on this fine Thursday afternoon evening. How are you, Brother Prophet? How are you, sir?
I'm fine, beloved. I'm having a good conversation with the sister in the studio, my sister on the radio, my other brother and everything like that, and it's all good.
Good. Right up to Sister Sasha, Sister Queen, Empress, what's her name? Empress, what's her name?
Empress Nay.
Empress May, sorry. And Brother Dwayne. I have a question for Brother Dwayne. Before I put a question to Brother Dwayne, I have a statement, please, to our guests and people listening. When the host is talking, don't interrupt the host, please. Host in front of Kwaku, he's our host. Let him finish his points before he interrupts. Show him some respect. He's a host. He's there on his platform to speak. So show him respect. Let him finish his points before he interrupts. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I think we dealt with that, Brother Jeff. We dealt with that. We now have to go over that again.
It's annoying. Prophet. Sorry. Oh, go on, King.
I can't even hear what he's saying.
Is there a point where I respond or do I head listening?
Yeah, but Brother Dwayne, how are you, sir? Brother Dwayne.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, Brother.
I want to respond. I think I've been quiet. I think I've been quiet for a little while now, so I don't really understand where you're coming from. I've been sitting there on mute for quite some time. Tasha's had a few things to say. Empress Nay's had a few things to say. Brother Kwaku's had a few things to say. I haven't said much, so I'm not really sure where you're coming from.
Correct, Brother Dwayne. I wasn't referring to you. Correct, Brother Dwayne. I was not referring to you, Brother Dwayne. You've been fine. That's my point. I wasn't referring to you.
Oh, okay.
A question to you, Brother. Yeah. A question to you, Brother Dwayne. If I may, a question to you, sir. Brother Nat made a point about the police enforcing, which I think been avoided. He said, who would have forced the police? Who would have forced this database for, I believe it was, who would have forced it? The police? Who would have forced it? That's Brother Nat's question. You avoided the question.
Sorry, did you say who would enforce it?
Yeah, who would enforce it? That's Brother Nat's question, and you didn't answer the question.
No, that's fine. If it's not been answered, I'm happy to answer it now. So I guess just to walk you through the vision is that ultimately you've got a number of existing hate crimes. If someone's convicted of the hate crime, what we're pushing for is an amendment to one of those 3 hate crime laws that currently exist right now that would add on the race offenders register as an additional consequence. So to answer the question, who would push it would ultimately be the courts. But where it starts from is with us. Where it starts from is those 10,000 plus people that have signed the petition. So what we're really trying to do to move forward is to get more light on the subject, to have debates like this. It's fine with me, not a problem at all. And just to shed as much light on the idea as possible to get the conversation going. Because we've got to start somewhere, right? I'm sure you'd agree. We can't... Yeah, so, I guess I hope that answered your question. The strategy is to get... Pardon?
You didn't answer the question. You didn't answer it. I asked you would enforce it. That was my question. The court. Okay, you say courts that allow police to... Okay, the courts. Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, I made my point clear. Okay, thanks for your reply. Yeah, if I may also, one more thing before I go, regarding the comments about how we got free. Prophet, I'll give you 20%. I mean, look, people say that we've tried all methods. That's not correct. I mean, in the Maroons, in Jamaica, Haiti, in Zimbabwe, we didn't petition for freedom. In Namibia, in Angola, we didn't petition. We fought and spilled blood. That's how we got free in those areas. It wasn't petitions or bargaining with the enemy. Now I'm saying we use all tools in our tools. Yeah, we use all tools, apply them. But let's not make the sense that disingenuous. Let's not be deceitful. We know we've got free. We've got to be petition. That's something they can come back deceitful and disingenuous. I won't stand for it. I'm not having that. We're not fools. We're not fools. That's what I'm going to say. Prophet Craig, let me go and listen off there now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brother Jeff.
Thank you.
Audrey says, let me see. Brother Carl Grant is there. Brother Emma. Brother Naya. Carl Grant says, I fully support the idea and intention of Empress Nye and Brother Dwayne. We should use the system to challenge itself. See, so it's not everybody that's coming with different things. What's happened since the marching done? Rudy Liquid, Sister and Tasha, passion in worthy of debate. All right.
Can I add to just...
One second. Brother Natrad. There's Brother Omar there. Brother Omar.
Kwaku.
Yeah.
Right, the Prophet.
Yes, Brother Omar. You want to make a contribution?
Yeah, I want to grab up, I guess, what the brother doing and Sister Empress Tash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just saying, listen to the conversation, listen to Galaxy all the time, the conversation. One of the things I just want to bring to you, my elder. When the young people come on Galaxy, and I'm on the street and I hear this a lot of time, when they come to try to bring points, is that they get beaten and battered down. And this is one of the reasons why we're not moving forward, because we have too much inside fighting. Even my show I talk about where we're fighting this system. The system is so large. When you're talking about the global trust, yeah, the global trust is an international trust which is systematically set to fight us down. And when we got the young people coming from either, sometimes we have to man or crush their spirits, because it kind of kill their vibes and kill people who's listening of their ears too and would want to say the same thing that they're doing. And when they hear, we kind of talk to them sometimes, they don't want to call and make any comments. So we need to be careful. As Brother Carl Grant is a person that's into law, you just call him and made that text a contribution. And I would just want to add to that to say what the King and the Queen is doing is very beautiful, because we are fighting a fight that we need to fight on all fronts. What they're saying is not right, because just as how much years we're doing this reparation march, we never get support all these years. And one of the reasons we never get support because people, some people don't believe in us. And right now, we're acting like we're not believing what the young prince and the young queen is doing. So I'm just saying we need to be more open-minded and be kind of more, give them a platform and try to support in that sense. And I can say you bring them on the station for that reason, but at the same time, we can't control the narrative of the show. Let them make this what they're saying and let the people come to their decision. So I just want to make that comment in a way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. That comment's very, very much well received and well appreciated. Thank you.
Give thanks.
Thank you. Give thanks. Sis Tasha.
Yeah, may I hear you? Yeah, may I hear you?
Put the lid the thing behind it.
What is?
Yeah. That's it. Sis Tasha, you still there?
No, somebody was talking.
Well, Prof, it wasn't me, but when there is a moment, respectfully, if I could...
Yeah, go on, say what you say.
Well, first of all, to Empress Tasha, I believe that called in. I agreed with a lot with what you had said. And I just want to be clear as well, because, when I called in, my call was to pose a question, but the first thing I said was, I give thanks to Sisters Empress Nay and Brother Dwayne for the works that they're doing. They're doing something, and that is good. And I agree with your sentiment as well, Empress Tasha, which is we have to come at it from all angles. I was emphasizing how this is inevitable. But when you said all the callers, because I didn't mind what you said, but because I didn't think it applied to me. But when you said all the callers, and I'm one of them, I do have to defend myself. And it is that, I hear what you're saying, Brother Icon, but it's that I want to make sure, and also with Solutions contributing as well, that whatever Brother Dwayne and Empress Nay are doing, and the team's doing, that is bulletproof. And when I do come with any type of question, I would also like to come with a solution. That is me. Because I do see that when people are doing something, people do love to throw their 2 cents in and not back it up with their kind of contribution with the energy that the Empress and the King are putting in. So trust me, I feel that. The only thing I'm always for is let's make it so that it's bulletproof. And what Brother Dwayne actually said was he didn't want to come on here to be patted on the back and said, well done, which I would give him all day because he's a fighter and I can see that. Same with Empress Knight. But just like a brother and a sister, which is what I said, if you was going out and you're my brother and sister into that warfare out there, I want to make sure that you are bulletproof and if I can, I'm coming out with you. So the first thing when I was listening to Empress May, she gave I was on my phone waiting to type in what's the petition. Done the petition. Anything they're doing now, I'll big it up on Black to Basics when we do our show. And, you know, I will go with that movement. I am very much about unity. I've recently, with the All Africans People's Revolutionary Party, which is something that I've looked into, they talk about the studying of what we need to do, which is the political, social, economical, and historical kind of information. We need to be informed, otherwise, we're not on that right path. But no way was it about berating and slating down. It was, first of all, love. It was, second of all, here's my question. And then it was third, I'll come with solutions as well. So no way at all was it about trying to throw shade or anything like that at all, ever. You know, you're doing something, cool. Just want to make sure that you're protected. That's all. You know, love all the time.
Okay, well, thank you for that, brother. Thank you very much for your comments. Right.
Yeah, you're in tune to the Nubian Forum People's Talk Show live here on GalaxyAfiwi.com. This show is officially sponsored by African Development Enterprise, 48 Rye Lane, Peckham, South East 15 5BY. Best in printing T-shirts, printing wedding invitations, documenting your weddings.
Brand new single from Ras McCoy. Coming soon on digital platforms.
Support this initiative, this business that supports what we're doing. They actually sponsor this particular show, and their number is 07930875012. Anything to do with printing, designing of flyers and books and anything like that.
Good. We could do with some race offenders registered T-shirts.
Yeah. You can get that. Any kind of T-shirt, on hats, anything like that. Pens. They do a lot. Yeah, just check them out.
And look at that, Prof. Sorry, just quickly. Look how I have to rise you up because when you mentioned that, I just think straight away, Sister Tasha just mentioned about Black Wall Street. Isn't there some type of synergy, some connection, if not already, that need to be made there? It is about building constantly. So now that one's informed, one will, push and echo whatever people are doing, always. So rise up, Prof.
Russia, 1 second. I got Rusho Singh is on the line. Rusho Singh.
Kwaku. Hello, Kwaku.
Oh, who's that, Brother Ade?
Brand new single from Ras McCoy. Coming soon on digital platforms.
Tell me where Jaja will now. Where have them teachers gone? Tell me where Jaja will. Where have them teachers gone? I've been reasoning with the youths of today, and they seem to have lost their way. They have no one who guides or inspires, and they just cannot find that love inside. Tell me where Jaja will now. They will have them teachers gone. Tell me
Where Have Them Teachers Gone? By Ras McCoy. The single, available from 1st of February 2021 on Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, and most digital download platforms.
Don't forget that. That is something that we have to fight fire with fire. Because these people, all they know is nothing but violence. The white man knows nothing but violence. I'm sorry to say this. You might have to counter them with what they give you. You know?
Mm-hmm. Just bringing it back to the register, do you have anything to say with regards to it?
Well, no, really. I support your movement. I support it, yeah. You know, I'm not alone.
1 second, Brother Ade. 961, can you put your phone on mute, please? 961, because we can hear what's going on in the background. So 961, can you put your phone on mute? Thank you. You're going, Brother Ade.
I mean, we're very progressive down here. You know, the city that I'm talking to you for, they're highly progressive, and it's driven by young people. You know, people. You know, I'm probably old enough to be, you know, with us. Most of them, they're that. We're looking at people from the age of 20, 35, up to 40, 50. These are capable people. You know, we've had enough of the old guard. You know, government, you know, it's time for a change. You know, in order to move on as a race, collectively, economically, socially, and everything is alluded to. But we still got to fight fire with fire. But we shall never forget that our hearts will be processed now. What they're doing to our brothers in the deep south. You mentioned Birmingham, Alabama, and Selma, you know, these places, you know. So, I mean, we're going to be kneeling on their neck. You know, we can't forget all these things, you know. Although the white man wants to forget, you know, but we never forget, you know. That's all I've got to say, you know.
All right, then, my brother. Give thanks, Ade.
Okay, thank you.
All right, just to say to the engineers, I see you working on the thing, Brother Muta. But what happened is the phone inside the studio is not charging. I don't know what's happening to it. I put the charger in there, put my own charger in there, but it's, for some strange reason or another, it's not charging. You know, it's just not charging. I got a text on the Facebook book. It says doing something is far better than doing. Oh, go. What happened this? Let me do this.
Go back.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says doing something is far better than doing nothing, and at this moment we do not have the level of violence to match theirs. I agree with that.
It's a tangible solution,
yeah.
You know. It's a solution at the end of the day. We're facing institutional racism from all angles, you know, and there isn't anything in place at the moment. There isn't any sort of consequences. So, you know, I think it's very much warranted. Brother Dwayne, you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, well, I'm giving you 5 more minutes because there's something else I want to deal with and I couldn't take out the whole of the show. But, Brother Dwayne, come in if there's anything more you want to say.
Yeah, just to back what Empress Nay said, really, ultimately it's a solution. It may not necessarily be the solution, but it should be deemed as one of. And we should just all, as I think it's Tasha from Black Wall Street, we should all be pushing on every single angle.
Big up, and she's actually. I'm sorry, Dwayne, to come in. Sorry to cut you, bro.
Pardon?
I have to big up Tasha from Black Wall Street because she's actually a sister that doesn't just talk the talk. She's walking the walk. So I've got to plug her. Go on Instagram, BWSL2020, and have a look at what she's actually doing because she's not just talking; she's walking the walk. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what we're trying to do. So if you've got any tangible solutions, or if you want to help, if you've got any questions, if you want to become an ambassador, please, just you go on Instagram. It's race_offenders_register or race offenders register 1. Reform Pursuit as well is also on there. The website should be up soon. go on the government petitions and sign the petition. We need to get to 100,000. We're approaching 11,000. So we are still waiting for the government response. It's only been a few days that we've hit the 10,000. We are waiting for the government's response. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of get it out there, get the conversation going. And yeah, that's what we're trying to do, Prof. I truly believe that it's a solution. So there isn't anything. What's the alternative? Do nothing. Like the last person just said.
No, Empress. Now I've got to pull you up.
Sorry, Brother Kwaku. If you don't mind, if I can just say one more thing.
Yes, of course.
No, 1 second, Dwayne. One second, Dwayne. No, Sister Nye, don't do that. No, Sister Nye. No, Sister Nye. I was talking before Brother came in.
Oh gosh, go ahead.
Right. I refute the statement. What do we do? Nothing. As if nothing is getting done. As if nobody else is doing anything. You must never make them statements. Because what you do, you downplay the very same woman that you just bigged up, Sister Tasha, and other groups who are doing other alternatives to try to elevate our people.
I'm talking about when you experience racism in the workplace, there is no consequences. Nothing is being done about it. These people wipe the floor with you when you try and challenge it. There is no alternative to it. So that's what I'm saying. Of course there's things being done. Of course there's initiatives. Come on. Of course we're a fighting people. So stop attacking what I'm saying and listen to what I'm saying.
No,
I'm talking specifically.
Sister Nye.
No, I have to talk up now. Yeah?
No, Sister Nye. No, Sister Nye.
I'm specifically saying...
Sister Nye, would you respect? Sister Nye, would you respect?
Go ahead.
I'm not attacking what you're saying, sister.
It feels like that, and the viewers are saying it as well, to be honest, and the listeners.
But what I'm saying to you, when you say, what should we do something or don't do anything, is to assume that people are sitting down in places not doing nothing. Sis, listen.
But I've just answered. I've said specifically with regards to institutionalised racism, there's no consequences at the moment. There's so many people that have experienced racism in the workplace and they've left their jobs, they've walked out. These other people that are actually committing these offences.
But some people's fought within there and won. A couple of people has fought in there. I know people that's fought and even sued their company under the Race Relation Act and got paid. So it's a misnomer. It's a misnomer to say that nobody ain't doing anything, Queen. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Brother Dwayne, 1 second. 1 second. Brother Dwayne. 1 second. Brother Dwayne.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to add on. I think as far as what you guys are just saying, I think just a slight misunderstanding and by the words exchanged. I think from my understanding, Empress Nay is a big supporter of everything you're doing, Prophet, and many other people in the movement. So I think, just to be clear, I don't think her position is that no one else is doing anything. She's a big supporter of your platform.
I've literally just said that. Thank you, Dwayne. I'm glad you could understand that.
Yeah, and just to add as well, I was going to say, anybody experiencing any form of racism in any scenario, we've got an office set up, we've got the contact number. Happy to provide all those contact details if necessary. I don't know if it's the right time, Prophet.
No, yeah, of course. Give out the number, man. I asked you that in the beginning, you remember? Go on, give out the number for anybody who's experiencing racial discrimination in their workplace and feel like they got nowhere else to go. Give them the number.
By all means.
Yeah.
Contact Reform Pursuit. Our office number is 0203 693 4459.
All right. Brother Dwayne, could you slow down? Say the name of your organisation. Say it quite slowly, and say the number slowly, because you might think you're saying it slow, but it sounds fast, and people have a problem getting the number. So rewind and come again.
All right, let me slow this down a little bit. Reform Pursuit. That's the organisation name. Our office contact number is 0203 693 4459. That's 0203 693 4459. Give us a call. We're here for the people.
All right. A question, Brother Dwayne. What times is the best time for them to call? Or what times is the office open so that you can take that? I mean, you're not there 24/7, are you?
Good point. Office hours 9 to 5. Give the office a call. There's always someone on the reception to take the calls. Or if you want to go to our website, you can fill in the contact form and we'll receive the information. So,
What is the website address?
Okay, I'll spell it out and I'll say it as soon as possible. reformpursuit.co.uk. reformpursuit.co.uk.
Repeat that one more time.
reformpursuit.co.uk.
Okay, give thanks. Is there anything, because there was a particular topic that I wanted to deal with, but I don't even know if I got the time to deal with it now.
Been a long time.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, Brother Dwayne?
I think everything's been said. I mean, we're active on every level of dealing with racism. As I say, we're working and pushing the petition.
Mm-hmm.
We're working with private and confidential cases, people dealing with racial discrimination via employment. We're tapped into a lot of organisations that I'm not in a position to mention as such, but we're battling on all fronts against racism. Me and my team, we've set up an organisation just for that one purpose. We're not.
How long has your organisation been running?
Pardon?
How long has your organisation been running?
We set up. We've been running for about 6 months now, 7 months.
Mm-hmm. And
for the people.
Is any of the cases that you've taken? Have you done any cases where you've had a success rate, or you're still working with cases at the moment?
Yeah, all the cases are still live and active as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
We're tapped in and we're supporting the individuals through the entire process. We've got a team of high-level, legally trained individuals, and we're all committed to one cause. And we do this for the people, as I say. We're not here to go against anybody. We're just here to simply support the people and provide another solution to the long list of.
And you're doing an excellent job. And I just want to shout out as well to the lady who created this petition, Emma Jane Leslie. She's the one who actually had this stellar idea. So keep up on the Instas, keep up on the socials. Please support the movement. Follow what's happening.
Yeah, all right then, Brother Dwayne, if there's nothing more that you want to say, beloved, give thanks. You can stay tuned to the show. Remember, Galaxy's here. We're here 7 days a week, 24/7. There's other talk shows that you can tap into, etc. And, keep us informed with what's happening. And, once you make a successful case, I would love to speak to you again about that. Is that possible, my brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Providing the individuals that we're working with have no issues with us going public, we'd be happy to do so. You'd be surprised at the kind of things we're doing in the background. So.
Well, we don't need to know the actual case, but you can just tell us about a case. You know what I mean? And so there was a case. You can't say who they are, etc. But we were successful, etc. Do you understand me, bro?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll do that for you, Prophet. No problem at all.
Yeah. All right. Give thanks every time, King. All right. One. Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Sign the register. Yeah? Sign the race offenders register. Sign. We need to get to 100,000. Please sign. Sign. That's all I've got to say. Thank you so much to all of the callers. Sorry to my Insta family. Sorry I wasn't able to. It's too far away. I couldn't see the questions and whatnot. But shout out to everybody who's on there. Shout out to Tasha from Black Wall Street for calling. Shout out to Sis Cooley. Shout out to everybody, yeah? Everybody. One family. We're one people. We all have different ideologies and different ways of going about things. But the number one thing, like what Tasha said, is that we must support each other. We must support each other and deal with each other right. You know what I mean? Because we're all in this together. So, yes, that's my final message.
Give thanks.
Thank you.
Sister. Can you be... Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Instagram.
And shout out to all the Galaxy listeners as well.
All right. Earlier on, it was yesterday. I just want to say thank you for coming, Sister Nye.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and good luck with the petition.
We need it. We need it.
Anything to support our community, Galaxy is here for. Yeah? So you're off now, yeah?
I'm running off.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Sorry that I can't walk you to the door.
No, it's good.
Yeah?
It's good. You have a show. I'm
Just make sure you pull it up.
for the last bit.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah. People, we give thanks and praises. You know, and what I want to say really is that when people come onto a radio station with OTEP. When people come on with onto a radio show, a talk show, and you're coming with an idea, be prepared for that idea to be taken through the mills. I don't want people to think that you're going to come here, because when you go amongst these government structures, I see them and them are going to deal with you. And this is like a training ground for you to test what you're doing. Our people have a right to ask questions. And if we are going to be against our people critiquing and questioning anything we do, we might as well just give it up now. Because who are we to dictate to our people and tell our people they must do that? We can ask them to do it, yeah? And we could give them the reasons why we think they should do it. But if they don't choose to do it, then them just don't choose to do it. And you can't get upset with people. You can get upset with them to a farm. But if them not going to do it, them just not going to do it. You understand what I say? So we just need to just bear that in mind, my people. Now, earlier on this week, which was yesterday, one of our brothers on the station had a brother that comes from Canada who's been talking about Moorish law and science and all that type of information. And they spoke about a treaty of friendship. Now, I don't want to misquote the brothers. Brother Icon, he called in earlier, and he can call back if he wants, was saying about there are things that we're not using to help us through what we're doing. Now, just like the sister that was just here speaking, I studied under a very great teacher and teachers of our story, who has been researching our story long before we even born, who at the time when they were doing their field research, namely Dr. Joseph Ben Buchanan and Dr. Clark, John Henrik Clark, they were doing this type of work when it was quite dangerous to do it. They were researching, they were traveling, they were doing the footwork to bring us the correct information about our story. And none of them spoke about some treaty that was supposed to help us as black people. Now, the Moorish scientists, them, and don't get me wrong, brothers are very intelligent, very well read, and very knowledgeable. Now, Brother Icon mentioned this treaty, the treaty, a peace and friendship treaty, which our people supposedly signed, and then we went to Philadelphia in the United States of America and all sorts of stuff. And as I said on my brother's show, I wasn't aware of this treaty, but you know what I did? I went and found it. And I read it. And I'm telling you right now, that treaty have nothing to do with African people. Not Africans. Arabs and the Americans, yeah, but not Africans. The treaty was a port treaty. It was a treaty between the United Snakes of America and the Emperor or the Caliph of Morocco, which allowed American ships to travel undeterred, unmolested through their different ports. And if those ports, if those American ships were attacked by anybody who's supposed to be under the jurisdiction of the Caliph, that they would have to leave them alone and allow them. And I'm going to read something from it, because you see, I'm not going to read all of it because there's 25 passages to this thing, this treaty. But I'm going to read the beginning. I'm going to read a particular paragraph from it. Peace and Friendship Treaty. Treaty sealed by the Emperor of Morocco, June the 23rd, 1786. I want you lot to pay attention to these dates. Yeah? And delivered to the American agent at Morocco, June the 28th, 1786. Additional articles signed and sealed on behalf of Morocco, July 15, 1786. Ship signals agreement signed at Morocco, July the 6th, 1786. Entered into force July the 15th, 1786. Treaty and additional article ratified and proclaimed by the President of the United States of America, July 18, 1787. So we have 1786, 1787. Expired, replaced, listen to this, expired and replaced January the 28th, 1837 by the Treaty of September 16th, 1836. Yeah, and then it says 8-100 Treaty Series 244-1. Right, treaty. To all persons to whom these presents shall come to be made known, whereas the United States of America in Congress assembled by their commission bearing date the 12th day of May 1784 thought proper to constitute John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson their ministers plenipotentiary, giving to them a majority of them full powers to confer, treat, and negotiate with the ambassador, minister, or commissioner of His Majesty the Emperor of Morocco concerning a treaty, amity commerce, to make and receive proportions for such treaty, and to conclude and sign the same, transmitting it to the United States in Congress assembled for their final ratification. And by one another, commission bearing date the 11th day of March 1785, did further empower the said ministers. Yeah? Now, there's a whole load of things and that. But what this is a treaty between the United States of America and Morocco. And in the beginning, it says, in the name of the Almighty God, this is a treaty of peace and friendship established between us and the United States of America, which is confirmed, and which we have ordered to be written in this book and sealed with our royal seal at our court of Morocco on the 25th day of the blessed month of Shaban in the year 1200, trusting in God, it will remain permanent. We declare that both parties have agreed that this treaty, consisting of 25 articles, shall be inserted in this book and delivered to the Honorable Thomas Barclay, the agent of the United States now at our court, with whose approbation it has been made and who is duly authorized on their part to treat with us concerning all matters contained therein. And then it goes around to talk about the fact that American ships should be allowed to roll freely through the Mediterranean and without being hassled, without being stopped, and even without being taxed as well. But one of the parts that I read that really concerned me, because this is supposed to be a treaty that we say if we with them people, it will help with. Yeah? It says, if either of the parties shall be at war with any nation whatsoever, the other party shall not take a commission from the enemy nor fight under their colors. That means they're not supposed to fight against each other. You understand what I'm saying? This is what this treaty says. Yeah? If either of the parties shall be at war with any nation whatever and take a prize belonging to that nation, and there shall be found on board subjects or effects belonging to either of the parties, the subjects shall be set at liberty and effects returned to the owners. And if any goods belonging to any of the nations with whom either of the parties shall be at war shall be loaded on vessels belonging to the other party, they shall pass free and unmolested without any attempt being made to take or detain them. But that wasn't the paragraph that got me. This was the paragraph that got me, people. And let me read the paragraph before it. Yeah? Look, sorry, people. Sorry. I'm being sorry, people. Sorry. I have to apologize. I have to apologize for that. Yeah? I have to apologize for that. I have to apologize for that. Oh, God. Sorry, people. My apologies. I just get disturbed. Yeah, so. And, let's try to write this thing here. Yes. Right. This is the paragraph before the paragraph that really got me. If we shall be at war with any Christian power. Now, this is, remember, this is the Moroccan emperor speaking. And any of our vessel sail from ports of the United States, no vessel belonging to the enemy shall follow until 24 hours after the departure of our vessels. And same regulation shall be observed towards the American vessel sailing from our ports, be their enemies Moors or Christians. I want you to listen to this, but this is it now. Listen to this. If any ship, remember what I told you about dates, 1786, 1787, yeah, and 1836. Listen to this, right? Paragraph 12. If any ship of war belonging to the United States shall put into any of our ports, she shall not be examined on any pretense whatsoever, even though she should have fugitive slaves on board. Listen to what I'm saying. even though she should have fugitive slaves on board, nor shall the governor or commander of the palace compel them to be brought on shore or any pretext, nor require any payment for them. So this is the article, or one of the articles, that is supposed to free us as African people. The Morocco emperor wasn't an African. He was an Arab. And the Arabs had dominated the northern part of Africa from the Romans. The Muslims had dominated northern Africa from the Romans, from 600 and odd when they invaded Kemet, and then moved through what they call now Tunisia, Libya, Morocco, Mauritania, Algeria. All of those areas are invaders that live there. And Morocco at the time was a big power in that area, and the United States of America was having their civil wars and that type of stuff. There was the South didn't agree with the North, and the king of of Britain was ruling there at the time, and you had all of these kind of things. You can go and search it for yourself. But in essence, I was listening to my brother's show the other day, and he was talking about this document, which I knew nothing about this document, and I have no issues in saying I didn't know nothing about the document. So I went and found the document, and I read it. And all I was reading was just an agreement with the United States and the Moroccan emperor. Now, what I heard in that show, and I don't know, maybe brother can call and correct me, was that it's not the Morocco in Africa they're talking, it's the Morocco in the United States of America, and Philadelphia is its capital. But this document doesn't say that. This document is talking about Morocco in Africa. I don't know if there's a Morocco in the United States of America, or maybe I was getting that information wrong. I'm not sure. And, Otep caller, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Hello?
Yes, Otep.
Hello, how you doing? You all right?
Yes, sir.
Good. Just listen to the debate as well.
Yeah, you didn't give me your name, my brother.
I'm sorry, Darren.
Oh, yes, Darren.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good, King, yeah.
Good stuff. I just listened to your debate and various points about Tony Robertson. I've met him and debated him with people in the past. Points regarding Tango Station. Obviously, a David Lamb report already out. I think we're pushing for that. It actually stipulates when it comes to even things like blind CVs are interesting when it comes to people actually trying to be convicted of race or instance. That's already in David Lamb reports, but I think that should be pushed.
Oh, all right. And where can you see that report?
Okay, so if you go on the government website, it's actually on there at the moment. So if you go on Gov and you actually look for Lammy, you type it in, David Lamb report's already there. Mm-hmm. And that's something we tried to push when David Cameron was actually in government, Parliament Conservatives. So therefore, David Cameron actually asked for the Lamb report to be conducted because a lot of race or injustice were happening, and he produced 101 documents. And one of the things you're talking about is already there, but it needs to be pushed. The government can put it through, but it hasn't been pushed. So that's something what it's already about, but I don't think people know about it. Right.
Okay, I will give thanks for that, beloved, yeah?
No problem, brother. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Give thanks.
Okay, right. Take care.
Okay, give thanks.
SMS.
Yes. Yeah. So back to this this Moorish document. You know Otek Cooler, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Greetings, Prophet.
Yes, greetings, Brother Delani. Know the vice.
Yes, this is Brother Delani. I want to greet you in the honorable spirit of our great and mighty African ancestors.
Ashe.
And I want to greet the Galaxy family and the Galaxy management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I see we don't really have much time because I know you probably get tired now because that was a nice little round a while ago with a beautiful sister, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man. But
and the brother.
Yeah, you know. Huh?
And the brother. Brother Dwayne.
Brother, yes, was on the line, yes. Respect. I'm big them up for them, though. You know, big up for them, I do. And, yeah, you know, we have to capture those crazy ballad and keep them out of the town. You know what I mean? But come, try to mash up the race. Yeah. So, yeah, man. Great show. What I talk about mainly is this Moorish thing.
Did you hear what I read out?
Yeah, I heard
Okay.
everything. I will watch your live on the Facebook as well. So
That's right.
yeah. The Moorish argument is a long argument in our community. Many people may be just coming around to these arguments, but it's a long-standing argument, particularly in the United States. What I heard Wednesday was a big jump, though. I never hear quite the United States being declared as the Republic of the Moors, the Empire of the Moors, and the capital city in Philadelphia. That was a first for me. I must say, and that's not even a part of this universe. That's an alternative universe there. So I don't know where they're coming with that. And there were some other things that was mentioned about the plantation, those big houses on the plantations, you know, all over, well, the concentration camps all over America, that African people were the one who living and running those plantations, and the European came overrun us, took us out the plantation, put us on the farm, and they occupied those houses. That is totally, brother, not a part of reality. I don't know where they're coming with that. I mean, these are the certain little things I honed in on, where there's such a blatant inaccuracy. Because what they're telling us, you know, that all our great scholars, from Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams, you know, Leon Bennett, you know,
Shaka Musa Barashango.
Yes.
Ivan Van Sertima. Sheikh Anta Diop.
Everybody have it wrong.
Carter G. Woodson.
Wrong. You're totally wrong. And so it go. Everybody got it wrong.
Francis Cress Wilson.
Yes. That's what they're telling us. They're telling all of us to outdated, full information is wrong, and they are the correct information is upside down. It's how them are turning everything upside down now, you know.
So Brother Dalani, what makes you think that's what they're doing? Give me a reason why you said that.
Because if you listen to the statement that the brother was making, I'm basing my argument based on this statement, because if you're saying to us that the Africans then was the one who running the plantation, that was actually owned the plantation, who occupied those houses, you have to can prove it. Nobody can prove that. You see, up and down the United States. You know, I mean, the record is so blatant. Those places that African people was occupying, they were occupying many of them places up to the very 1970s and 80s. So a lot of people don't realize, you know. Because after enslavement, many Africans didn't have nowhere to turn. And they remain on those plantations. You know, see it. And a lot of people don't even aware of that. I think up to the 90s, people still staying on those plantations.
Up to the 1960s, definitely.
In the 1990s, I'm not talking about no 18, I'm talking about 1990s. because they had no way to turn. Now, the plantation up and down the United States.
Concentration camps.
The concentration camp, yeah. We know for a fact that the European them run those plantations, those breeding farms that was breeding Africans, those butt breaking concentration camp. You know, it was up and down the coast of America. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear them kind of things, I'm saying where this revision is coming from. I mean, they're telling us all of the scholars, then even if you go to Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard and you go to the so-called black colleges in America, that means all of those faculties, everybody has it wrong. You know, see, the whole history was written wrong and everything was documented was wrong, because they have a different version of history that is nowhere near reality, my brother. And that's my concern about this thing. You know what I mean? That we are selling this false paradigm to our people. You know what I'm saying? And then we're discounting all those liberation movements that we fought to liberate ourselves across the Western Hemisphere. You see it, and overthrow those plantations, and then we regain control. You see it, and start establish our independence movement, particularly in the 50s and 60s, and across the world, the globe. You see it, in Africa as well. You see it, because it was a global struggle. You know,
and still is.
And it still is. And in doing that struggle, I haven't heard of one Moroccan vessel come out that come back through it. You see it. And we have to be, there's something we have to understand about the Moroccan Empire. That was a Berber, Arab, mixed with African empire. Even though the vast majority of the Berbers, them are African, because they have been in Africa for so long, but they're so intermingling with Africa.
So let me ask you a question then, Brother Delani. What do you think is the reason that brothers, and maybe even sisters as well, would use this kind of narrative, push this kind of narrative? What would be their purpose?
Very good question, my brother. And I'm only speculating. You know what I mean? I'm only venturing out with my own probably theory and so forth like that on this, because I have noticed in the last 20, 30 years, there is a slight anti-African current underbelly that's running through our community. We prefer to be Muslims. We prefer to be Hebrew Israelites. We prefer to be Moors. We prefer to be Aboriginals. We prefer to be American Indians. We prefer to be anything else except to be Africans. You know what I'm saying? So they run away from African, and then they want to hide under some other identity, some other. What are they popular word and use?
Pseudonym.
Yeah, no. They have like an ethnic. What they call it when in America? It's identity. You know what I mean? To yourself, nationality. What's one of their very famous thing amongst the Muslims? Nationality. You know what I'm saying? But so I think that there's the element of that there, the element of that Afrophobia, anti-African sentiment, self-loathing, and self-hate. You know what I'm saying? Because you're looking at people, and if you examine their DNA, they are 70 to 95% sub-Saharan African. Most Africans in the Western world are 70 to 30%. No matter how dark or how light they may be, they are 70 to 30%. I mean they are 30% European, and then they are 70% sub-Saharan African running to our vein. But we don't want to deal with the 70% sub-Saharan African. We want to find, if you find a 1% of a Native American Indian, you want to claim that. If you find 1% from the Levant, say you're from the Canaanite stock, they claim that. If they find anything else, they claim that. They don't particularly want to claim the Europeans still. You know, that everybody kind of don't want to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? But they will find anything. They will say that they are Jews because them have the 1%, that 2% of the Jewish DNA, and that them a claim. I see them identity that, I see them nationality that. But they run away. Because some of them, you know, my brother, have about 90% sub-Saharan African.
Some of them have 100%.
Yes, 100%. And then say 1% Middle Eastern or 1% Aborigine, Native American, and them claim the 1%. So that made me to start to think, say, why would you see so much African and you run away from it, but you want to claim anything else? I don't get it. Then, look at this again. Look at another point of it, my brother. Look how big the continent is. Remember, we have the Kingdom of the Congo, we have the Ghana Empire, we have Angolan people down at bottom there, so we have the Southern African people, the Zulu Empire, the Maasai over here, so all that. And you run away from all of that, and you want to go to Morocco to claim Moroccan lineage and coverage. No, in order for you to claim that, you know, you have to give up your citizenship in America and Britain, everything, and adapt. In order for all that from the treaty to apply to you, you have to become a citizen of Morocco under the Moroccan flag and back.
But they were saying they were talking about that, Morocco. They must say them capital is in Philadelphia.
Yeah. That is total, man. That is so far-fetched, man. That is. I mean, that is.
Well, I know that Brother Icon is listening. Can be calling earlier. I'll give him the opportunity to call in if he wants to debate the fact, and we can have a conversation about it. Him can even get Brother Cameron for call, because I will stay until 12:30.
Yeah, I don't want to misrepresent them, you know. I really don't, and I hope you know. And let me issue a disclaimer as well. I am not attacking Brother Icon. I respect him. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with Icon.
Likewise.
Even the brother, even the brother of the Bay that called in what they are. No attack on them as an individual or as a person. But what I will be have issue with is the information, the accuracy of the information. Because it seems that it's a theory coming out of a mind of a man. And then when they try to they call your bluff. You research it now, see where you can find it. There's no way you're going to see where today.
Well, the thing about it, the paragraph that got me, Brother Delany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I shall read it again.
Yeah.
If any ship of war belonging to the United States shall put into any of our ports, she shall not be examined on any pretense whatsoever, even though she should have fugitives, slaves on board.
Yes, I am.
I want to hear me say, fugitive and slaves on board, nor shall the governor or commander of the place compel them to be brought on shore on any pretext, nor require any payment for them.
Yes, I am.
This is the treaty them signed. So who was...
Can you see?
Right. No, if you remember what I said earlier, I said, keep eye of the dates. Because I'm a man, I love dates. Yeah? 1786. Yeah. 1787 and 1837 and 1836. When was the Civil War of the United States? Now, 1868?
1865.
Yes, with the 1860s.
It was 1860 to 1865.
Right.
Yeah.
So how many years after 1836 and 1837 was that?
1836.
Right.
About...
No, you don't have to send the accurate. I'm just making a point.
Yeah.
Yeah? And now we know that was the height of the enslavement of African people. They've been trading in Africans from the 15th century.
That's correct.
All of them. They were all at it. Yeah?
Now, look at this. Now, why? Now, you see, my brother, I've listened to the debates with Moors.
I know that you're there 708. Just hold on. Go on, Brother Delany. Carry on. I'm going to bring you 708 after.
Yeah, who openly admit that the Moors were involved in enslavement of African people. They were involved. Now, I can tell you that our elder, one of our elder grandmaster teacher, Dr. John Henry Clark, stated that the Almoravids,
yeah, the Almoravids, yeah,
Moors, yes, but they were the one who was occupying the Marrakesh in Morocco. They are the one who moved onto Ghana in 1079 AD and overrun the Ghanaian Empire, the African Empire in Africa. They overran it and they destroyed the place
and created the Empire of Mali.
Yes, and they exactly. And then they came in and they built their thing under the Mali Empire, and then it went on to become the Songhai Empire. But you know, and that began this Islamic domination in West Africa. It was through them. You know what I'm saying? That brought that about. But the fact is that they conquered Ghana. You know what I'm saying? So we have to look into that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well, a good book to read on that, you know, a good book for people who's listening to read on that is a very good book now is a book called When We Ruled by our own produced brother here, Brother Robin Walker.
Yes, Robin Walker, yes.
Yeah, and I think there was I think African Glory touches on it as well. And then there's another book that touches on Songhai, Mali, and the Empire of Ghana.
Chancellor Williams,
yeah, Destruction of Black Civilization.
Yeah.
But there's another book that specifically talks about those three empires. I can't remember the name of it. But all in a minute, Brother Delani. You land?
Yes. Yeah, man. We can go on well, man.
Yeah, all right. 708.
Hi, Brother Kwaku. It's Brother African again. Just wanted to ask a couple of questions about the debate you're having.
Yeah, go through, brother. Go through.
Yeah.
Rise up, brother. Rise up.
Rise up, Brother Delaney, Brother Kwaku, and the guys listening. I looked at the Moorish Science group as well, and there's a couple. He mentioned a couple of things in his show that I wanted to ask about. And I don't know if Brother Delaney might be able to answer it. He said that the Americas or the Europeans originally went to the Moorish Empire, I think it's pre-17th century, to get license or to get the authority to trade in the world. But I don't know if you remember that part, but he didn't say when that was.
Yeah.
I think what he was trying to say was that for the Europeans to trade, there was a black aristocracy before the European aristocracy, and that was the black aristocracy that allowed the Europeans to trade, and they found a treaty allowing them to trade in the beginning.
Okay, you know, I think I can help you a bit with that. You see, we've got to use history. We can't negate history because it happened. There was an empire ruled in the Iberia Peninsula. Spain, south of France, part of Portugal. Yeah? And that empire was called, they called it the empire, it's called the empire of the Moors. Yeah?
Actually, there was the Andalusia Empire.
Yeah, the Andalusia Empire. Yeah?
Yeah. They never called themselves the Moors.
No, they never called themselves the Moors, but it's what the Europeans called them. Yeah?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And that empire lasted from 701 AD to 1492. Yeah? Or 1485, 92, because they went to war. Now, that empire was pulled down by the unification of two different kingdoms, which was the kingdom of Isabella, Queen Isabella, and the kingdom of King Ferdinand. They married, unified, but with the help of other Arabs that didn't see favor with the people them that was ruling Spain at the time and wanted that wealth for themselves, depose the Africans who were ruling Spain at the time. Now, the African, the first African that explored Spain was an African called Jabul el Malik El Malik. No. It's Tariq el Jabral. Yeah, that's where the term tariff comes from, because they used to tax anybody, whether they were Moors or Jews or Christians, anybody that come through their port, they put a tariff on anything they're bringing in. So maybe that can marry up with what they were saying in terms of that. I wonder if that help you a bit.
Yeah. The brother didn't qualify it, but it certainly helped me a bit. I've read some about the Moors. I read something about the Moors, Andalusians, and how they were brought down, etc., etc. That was one of the points I was asking. The other point that I've found when I researched the Moorish temple, as they called, is that apparently Fard Muhammad of the Nation of Islam was also taught, was a branch of the same Moorish Empire, because they're Muslims. And I think in 1990 they said Louis Farrakhan acknowledged that Master Fard Muhammad was actually part of the same group.
I can address that. Yeah, I can address that. Yeah, you're correct. The W.D. Farad was a part of the Moorish movement with Noble Jew Ali. And after Noble Jew Ali died, he trying to be the prophet, and they didn't accept it because they consider Noble Jew Ali to be a prophet. And when he was rejected, he went and formed his own thing, and he formed the Nation of Islam, I think, in 1929, and started his movement on the Nation of Islam. But he was originally a part of the Moorish Science Temple. I think they was on some other temple name. I can't remember the name of it, but it wasn't necessarily a Moorish Science Temple.
A question that I want to ask, yeah? A question that I want to ask. What's the implication to the movement of African liberation struggles with this kind of information that's being put out?
Well, I think, Prophet, that the contribution would be a linkage because they came under Islamic doctrine, and the Savior, Messiah, Prophet, we were looking for that Savior to come. So it created a situation where because Fard Muhammad started Nation of Islam, rose up Elijah Muhammad built this great Nation of Islam, and then Malcolm X came up out of that. So they probably would take credit for that. But in essence, they rejected Fard Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, as the second prophet in the doctrine, and he formed it his own. So I mean, from that perspective, that's probably the greatest contribution, because Farrakhan and Malcolm X was great teachers amongst our people to help wake our people up, even though they were under the doctrine of Islam, which many of our people have problem with. Moorish Science Temple, Islam is their underbelly. They're undergirded by Islam. They are Muslims. So anything they use to decorate themselves is because they're mutated Muslim. They mutate into a different form. But the Nation of Islam is still a Muslim Islamic group.
Okay, another question then, my brother. Yeah. Do you think that what they're doing can help liberate African people? Would it be something for us to get behind?
It would not be sufficient. It would not be if it can make you a better person, if you can make you a better character, to become a better father, make you become a better entrepreneur and stuff like that. That can help you. But to say that using this particular treaty that we're all aware of, the Friendship Treaty, is very common amongst the Moors to talk about it. That is not a miraculous document. It doesn't do nothing for Africans. If you're not a citizen of Morocco, then it doesn't apply to you, none at all. So it doesn't do nothing for us. If they're talking about Islam as a liberating force, it is yet to be seen, because the hands of Islam in our demise has been completely documented. So I mean, it can help as because we are people and we're organized. If the Moorish groupings, just like the Christian groupings, and you got so many denominations of Christians and so many denominations of Muslims, you just have to see them as just another denomination. And if they want to be a part of the Black Power movement or the Black liberation struggle, then we have to welcome them in with a unique contribution. I know many of them are versed in the law, and as such, they can help write some cases to challenge these people. So they can play a role. I mean, I don't reject nobody based on their religion and their personal belief, as long as they're committed to the liberation of African people. And, Prophet, people like me and you, we are more, orthodox in how we embrace our African struggle. You know what I mean? We're not into non-African stuff. We're not into no invaded religion or invaded culture to come and impose on our people. We're not into imposing Islam on our people. We're not into imposing Christianity on our people, Judaism on our people. We're not into imposing no foreign ideology on our people. We are dealing with indigenous African creation that we can be proud of as African people. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to rely on no outside forces to give us any ideology or wisdom to liberate ourselves. We can do that. What we need is science and technology right now to advance our liberation. You know what I'm saying? And organization and implementation of African culture amongst our people. Those are the factors for our liberation right now.
Well, Brother Delani, give thanks for that contribution. I mean, 708, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Yeah. Can I just answer last question? Brother Lani, you're very knowledgeable. I have a lot of admiration and love the Nation of Islam and many of the groups. I think the way they deal with their women behave, there's so much I love and respect. With the issue of how we, as African people, form a common agenda, I just ask, the Nation of Islam belief is that Fard Muhammad was God Almighty, and he came in the form of God Almighty, and etc., etc. Fine, that's just a belief. Their fundamental belief is that God will deal with America himself. So therefore, nobody can actually deal with the black struggle in America except God, because God's going to be the first judgment. And this is what they found, and they, have connections with supernatural powers. How does the different black groups form a common agenda with such different basic notions of how we build empires and build nations? That's the you might not be able to answer it, but it's one of the problems I think a lot of ordinary people struggle with.
Are you saying? Sorry to cut you, brother. Can you ask that question again? Are you saying how do we work together for the benefit of all? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for all black people with such fundamental different beliefs about basic things like the black struggle in America. I want to. I don't know if I'm making sense, brother.
No, you're making perfect sense. I can see where you're coming from, beloved.
Go ahead, Prophet, if you wanna speak on it, but I would like to speak on it as well.
Yeah, for me, like for example, in the process of attempting to create an organization called the African Coalition Council, that has nothing to do with people's religious doctrines. It's strictly about what affects us as African people. So,
can I just butt in, my brother Kwaku? I've been trying to look up that organisation and I can't find any information on it.
No, because it's not fully up and running yet. Okay. But you can email African Coalition Council at yahoo.com, and African spelt with a K. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to be part of that structure, you can email africancoalitioncouncil.com. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's African spelled with a K. And then, take your details and we'll move on from there. But the point I'm trying to make is this, is that when for example, the sister and the brother that was on the show this evening, and that petition, creating a racist, oh God, what is it again? Register. Yeah.
A registrar. Yeah.
A racist register. Yeah. When racists attack us as African people, they're not interested in whether we're Muslim or Christian, or whether we're not Muslim or Christian, or whatever the case may be. They are purely against us because of who we look like. You understand what I'm saying to you, beloved?
I understand perfectly
that
issue.
So, being that we are here in Britain, and being that they are there in the United States of America and other parts of the world that our people are, where they are the minority there, we have to realize that all we have is us. So if you want to go and pray on a mat 5 times a day, that's not my business. That's between you and the God that you serve. If you want to kneel down in a pulpit and follow the doctrine...
Yeah, I'm not this...
Yeah, no. Hold on, Billy. All I'm saying, King. My aim is that we should be able to do that as Africans without no discourse. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
No one religion is going to liberate us in the places that we live. It ain't going to happen. I can bet my life on it. It's not going to happen.
I'm not disputing that. Sorry. Can I just point and say something quick?
Yeah, let Brother Delani come in and come again, and then Brother Delani come after.
I'd like to hear what he has to say. Let him come.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I agree with you, and I accept that's true. My issue is this: 30, 40 years ago, we all was fighting apartheid, and apartheid was the last agenda that we all united under. We didn't have this issue about what religion and blah, blah, blah. Everybody wanted black people to rule, to be their government in their own country. I remember, there was so much support for it. That was undisputed. Now, I'm trying to look at what agenda is it that we all believe in, because we have such fundamental different beliefs on fundamental things.
Yes, sir.
Regardless of what your religion is.
We're too comfortable now.
What your religion or who you work with, but what's the common black goal that you can say everybody believes in? Because in my experience, everybody has a different belief on basic issues. Just the Zimbabwe issue. Different black people with different views. It was so fragmented in our common agenda. That's the only point I was making. Sorry.
No, it's a very good point as well, my brother. Brother Delani.
Yes, I would like to come in here. You raised some very good issues. And Prophet dealt with one of the solutions. That is definitely the solution in terms of dealing with different religion. But you did say something earlier that caught my attention. You said that some people claim that they may have some supernatural connection to maybe a higher being or force or their God. And
yeah, they openly state that. Yeah, they openly state that.
I know. I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I've noticed that when you look at the intervention into our situation by these so-called supernatural forces, I don't see it. Me personally. Every struggle that we have had has been by our own hands and our own feet, our own organization and our own battles that we have to fight. Now, until such time, they'll be waiting for a long time, but I'm not waiting for that to happen. I'm telling you that right now. I'm about organizing, we build up our technology, build up our scientific infrastructure, and fight. Now, when we get down to the level when we intensify our struggle, oath would have to be taken, because we need trust, we need discipline, and you can't come tell me, say, you have a higher allegiance to some other entity than the liberation of our people. Whatever we organize it under, that's going to have to take precedence, because we have to depend, our lives got to be in each other's hands. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get that part right. You know what I'm saying? When you join any military force in this world, you have to take an oath and defend that constitution and that flag of any movement that you're a part of. And that is that become precedent over everything else, even your family. That's how that works. Now, if somebody going to take an oath to a religion above the liberation of their people, that's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? So if the liberation of your people don't come first, there are going to be issues. So I'm just putting that out there.
Brother,
you hear that?
Brother Ade.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm ending this conversation at 12 o'clock.
Do you see in
12:30.
the popular agenda that African?
No, one second, my brothers. My brothers.
Definitely.
There's another caller on the line. I'm just trying to bring him in, Brother Ade.
Okay. Yeah. I'll come back to that point. I'll come back to that after this caller.
Okay, how you doing, gentlemen? Are you okay? You okay?
Greetings. Rise up, Brother Ade. Rise up. Okay.
But quickly, you know the thing you play about Morocco. It makes sense because you remember Casablanca. If you follow disco music, there was a record label called Casablanca. I don't know whether you're aware of that.
And there's a movie called Casablanca.
You're talking. You're talking some years ago, though, isn't it?
Yeah, in the 70s.
Billy D. Williams and all them big boy there. Yeah.
Yes, and the Batman group they recorded on it was the Village People, and some other people in the 70s. But it was a big disco label, so it ties in with what you're saying, And apart from the slavery element, so obviously they must have given the people the gateway, to travel the free passage in the Atlantic Ocean, obviously, according to what you read out there, So you're correct. And I mean, you mentioned 1836. So Abraham Lincoln, the man allegedly freed the slaves, must have came in 1860. So you saw this in part of the plot, Brother Kwaku. You're correct,
There's something that I want to read, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I want us to listen to this, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. I think you'll know the reason why I read it. I read it last week. Good Amen, good Creator, who created the sun which shines on us from above, who rouses the sea and makes the thunder rumble. Listen. Creator, though hidden in a cloud, watches over us. The God of the white man calls forth crime, but our Creator wills good works. Our Creator, who is so good, commands us to vengeance. He will direct our arms and help us. Throw away the likeness of the white man's God, who has so often brought us to tears, and listen to liberty, which speaks in all our hearts. Bookman Doty, August the 14th, 1791. Yeah? 5 years after the 1786 treaty. Yeah? 5 years after the 1786 treaty. Yeah? And 4 years after the liberation, 1804. The point I'm trying to make is this, is what you said, my brother, where you said they got some tapping into some supernatural force. Yes, that supernatural force will help us if we get up and move. You see me I deal with? That supernatural force not going to sit down there and just roll through and lick down nobody. We have to lick down the boy them. And I think that what happens is, when people hear us talk like this, people get frightened. But we must remember that today we have the liberty to say what we say because others took that risk. Because they refuse to have us with chains around our necks. Refuse to have us just raping of our women, our little boys and our little girls. And buggering our men them when our men stand up to them. Refused for that to continue. No treaty freed us from that. Remember me tell you. No treaty. Nowhere in none of the island them. None. to the most passive island you want to call in the Caribbean. Them burn down and tear down and chop up and maim and kill boy. Some of them were successful, some weren't. But we definitely know that in the 16th century, in Brazil, Colombo, Palmares, them bust up boy down there. Yeah? And we know in the 17th century, 1791, them bust up boy in Haiti. No joke thing.
And Jamaica there too. So all the things are going.
And all the rebellions in Jamaica and all them place there. With Nani and Taki and all them man there. Yeah?
Resistance was global, man.
Right? So this thing that we sat down and reasoned with them. Yeah? Because now what happens is we're in the time of academics. Yeah? And so the academics now is trying to twist the enemy's law to help us. And I don't have no issues with people doing that. Let me just make that very plain. Yeah, but I'm not under no illusion.
Yes.
You understand? It's a tactic. Whatever we do, even the petitions that we do, it's a tactic. We're just doing our part. Because the time will come when our descendants will use us as their evidence. Look, they tried with you, but you wouldn't listen because you were so arrogant. No, you have to feel our technological science that I got to deal with your case. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about now. We're not in no position to deal with them on that level right now. You understand what I'm saying? But
yes, Prophet.
We're in the position to prepare the future. That if they don't change their ways, they got ample time to change their ways. But the day will come when they won't have that time again. So they better fix up. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
go on.
Well, I was just going to make you look close because I just need to go.
Yes, I just wanted us to answer the last part of the brother question because he was asking about what issue in this world today that can unite African people. And I'm telling them right now, issue of reparation is that issue. Reparative justice is an international social movement of African people right now. They've got the entire CARICOM, the Central America, South America, they all getting on in the movement. North America has been in the movement from day one. Europe is in the movement. So this is the movement that is now galvanizing all the organizations them under these banners. Because the collective domination of this world by these European powers, they think that they have gotten away with it. They think they have walked away scot-free, wrote the rules, did what they did. Nobody was held accountable, and they just walk away, and we just lay down. There's nothing we can do. But that's not the case, my people. We are organizing all over this globe on the continent of Africa. The movement of this generation and the generation to come is the international social movement for African reparations. That's what we got to get behind. That is the movement. No matter what religion you are, you got to admit our people have been damaged. We have been hit aside our head, and we're trying to recover. You know what I'm saying? And we have to repair this damage. The damage has to be repaired by any means, by all means necessary. We have to get this thing done. You know what I'm saying? And reparation is not a free card for people to do what they want to do and be reckless. It's about getting yourself together as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we know we have a reckoning to come, whether by us or by the generation to come. But we have a responsibility to get ourselves repaired, to sort out ourselves, to deal with our soul, to start reading and learning, to know that we have lost our identity. We are speaking and dreaming in a foreign language, the language of our enslavers. That is a problem. But it's going to take generations to get it out of us, to get this European out of our system day by day. That reparative process has to be enacted by every one of us. We have to implement that in our own individual lives, in our family, and in our community. So we have to get behind this agenda. You know what I'm saying? And there will be brothers that come, sisters, with a legal argument. There will be administrative argument, and such as the petition and the commission of inquiries and legislations. And then there's the other option, which is all-out revolution, global African revolution. So these are options that we can't be afraid as African people to articulate. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be under no illusion that this thing is going to be handed to us on a plate. It got to be fought for. Just like when we was in enslavement, we have to fight to free ourselves from the shackles. This is how the magnitude of this movement today. We have to fight these Europeans to demand what we rightfully belong to us. You can't get away with 400 years of enslavement of a people and walk away scot-free with all the bounties. It was 100% transfer of all of the wealth.
It was more than 400 years.
Say it again?
More than 400 years.
Yeah, 400 plus, let's put it that way. Or 500 plus years.
Yeah, we must never forget what the Arabs do.
Yes, and them too, because that's another...
Yeah, so we're talking a good 1,000 years.
Yeah, so but in the Western paradigm, we are looking at 100% transfer of wealth to one group of people.
And let me just say the big mistake that they made. Would you agree that they made a mistake?
Who's they?
The Europeans.
I think the greatest mistake they made is make us stay alive.
No. The greatest mistake, them never make we stay alive, or we make ourselves stay alive.
Yeah.
Their mistake was that they documented it and kept the documents.
They're very good at documenting what they do.
Yes. And they documented it because they were arrogant. They thought it was always going to be like that.
Yeah, but also they never saw a future with us in it.
That's right.
They thought that we would be exterminated by now.
Shay.
They would have this planning today.
Exactly. But let me end it there, brother Delani, because believe me, I have to leave here. Because believe it or not, I got to go market. Can you believe that?
You got to go to what?
Market.
Okay. Yes, my prophet, we're going to give you a break. You're a hard-working man, and you put out this hours and time and effort to give us a platform to speak. And respect for you to give me a chance to articulate a few sentences, a few paragraphs, and to get some thoughts out. There's much more that can be said, as you know. And, we have great teachers. And it's not like we have any magical powers or we have any special powers. It's that we have great teachers, and we read and we learn. You know what I'm saying? So it makes us more equipped to be able to articulate on certain issues. And I respect the opportunity and the privilege to come on Galaxy to articulate and to give my point. And I say Ashe to you, my brother, and in the honorable spirit of our great and mighty African ancestors, I say Hotep, Ashe. And to the brother that's on the line as well, Hotep to you, my brother, and to the Galaxy family.
All right, well, brothers, I'm gonna end the show now because I do really need to go. I wanted to go, but something came up. I would have gone until 1-2 o'clock this morning because I really wanted to deal with this thing. But I hope that it answers some of the questions that people were not clear about. And if there's anything other than that, then I'm open to have a conversation with brothers who's dealing with this thing, because we need to speak about it so they can give us clarity on what it is. What it is that, and how this thing here can help us and show us a working form, because I'd be interested to see that. You understand me? But anything that's going to hold Africa out of the taking, I personally, I'm not interested in it. If it ain't wrapped up in Africa, in and out, and saturated with Africa upon it, me not interested. Simple as that. I can live with you being a Muslim. I can live with you being a Christian. I can live with you being an atheist, African spiritualist. What I can't live with is that you don't love Africa. And you don't love African people. I can't live with that. Because I understand why you're the other things. I know the history behind it. So that ain't going to be easy to change. But I can live with that. You understand what I'm saying? But the hate of self and the hate of Mama Africa and being African, I can't live with that. I can't live with that. That's one thing I can't live with. Yeah, and we can use the semantics, well, it wasn't called Africa, or whatever the case may be, but you know that I'm talking 11.24 million square miles of land, the richest real estate on the planet and the center of the earth. It's the center of the earth. Bang in the middle.
I don't know. I don't know if you see the map that's drawn by the Moors. They have a different map than everybody else in the world, you know.
Well, I've never seen that map.
I'm going to send it to you. It's crazy, man. It's no part of reality upon it. But I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah. And the last thing that God, I wanted to go, you know. But this was the last thing I wanted to touch on. When they were talking about Phoenicia. That Phoenicia was in control Europe. It did not. There's no historical documents or even old maps that shows Phoenicia controlling the whole of Europe. No, it did not. You understand what I'm saying? That was run Iraq, Iran, Palestine, you know, them place there. That was Phoenicia. Yeah? The only people them really did have Europe under some manners was was it Attila the Hun and the other guy there, Genghis Khan. Yeah? Them man they roll upon Europe. Yeah? The Genghis Khan Empire and all them something there. But the brother didn't call back in, so that's it for me. So, my brothers, may the ancestral spirits guide and protect everybody and watch over all of us. And we will speak again in the future. See?
Oh, shit. I'll take my brother.
Yeah, so, let me just sign out. And, go me yard. Well, no, me not go me yard, but go market now.
Well, drive safely, yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, yes. I for go, I'm go pick up the van and then go back.
What?
Yeah.
When you already? Hey.
If I go pick up the van and then. Yeah.
All right. Otep then.
Yeah. All right then, Otep. And people on the Facebook, bless up on yourself. Sir Lied, big up yourself every time. Duncan, my brethren. Duncan, my Christian brethren. Yeah? Big up yourself every time. Love it down to the marabone. And condolences for your father and everything like that. Yeah, Fidel, my brother, Ivan, and everybody who's tuning in this evening. We give thanks to Sister Empress Nye and Brother Dwayne. Please do go and find that petition. Sign it. I'm going to find it. I'm going to sign it. Yeah, because I want to help my brothers and my sisters. Delani. Yeah.
Respect my brother.
Itepe Ineke. J.R. Senebe. African people, we have to find what our purpose is. And we must move towards it. Otep.